Well, good morning, everybody from San Diego. We want to welcome you all back to your streaming broadcast, coming to you directly from the world of solutions here at Cisco Live 2025. So exciting. I'm Steve Moulter. On behalf of the entire Cisco TV team, we are really delighted to have you with us today. You know, from the moment this event kicked off, we have been experiencing the story of all of the unique, all of the dynamic ways that Cisco is powering how people and technology work together across the physical and the digital worlds. All of the different ways that Cisco is leading the revolution in how infrastructure and data connect and protect organizations exactly like yours, like all of ours, in this constantly shifting, advancing AI era. The fact is, this is all about outcomes, right? Customer value, truly secure networks, complete end-to-end observability, unparalleled collaboration, everything that you and that your organization need to thrive and to excel, thanks to the depth and the breadth of Cisco's combined portfolio of technology and solutions. It's been an amazing, amazing week already, and it just gets better and better today. Right now, we're about 28 minutes from our Wednesday morning keynote, kicking off at 8:30. The title, Innovation in Action. This is where the big picture rubber hits the operational and performance road. We are going to get detailed stories from Chuck Robbins, from Carrie Palin, Liz Centoni, Oliver Tuzik, along with some great special guests, partners, on how Cisco is harnessing the power of AI, driving growth, helping to build a better world for all of us. We're going to hear details on the innovations that we have created here in the AI era. We'll take a specific focus on customer experience, great use cases of how Cisco is helping you and helping your organization to navigate all of it. And it kicks off, like I said, right at 8:30 a.m., so stay right here with us. Also, make sure you keep hitting us up on the social media. Whatever platform you like, great. Go ahead and post your comments there, your thoughts, your ideas, your inspirations that you're hearing. Maybe you put a photo in there, maybe put up a video. Just make sure that you also include hashtag Cisco Live and at Cisco Live, so our social media team here at the event can see those posts and respond. I'm here in the studio with another one of your 5 wonderful Cisco TV hosts. Good morning, Lauren White.
Good morning, Steve. How are you today?
This is just, you know, the energy, it sort of builds throughout the week. You get on site, Lauren, and it's a little overwhelming and it's chaotic and you're running around and trying to figure out what goes where. And then as each session passes and each time you walk around and see something new, the excitement just builds and we get more confident. And I'm going to go way out on a limb and say we get a little bit more proud, am I allowed to say that, of being part of the Cisco ecosystem?
Yes, no, I completely agree. And the best part about it is that we're all here together. Nobody's alone. So if you have a question, you can either ask someone sitting next to you or go over to the World of Solutions and ask the actual product team a question. As a customer, I don't think there's any better thing you could want to do, right? Like all those questions you've been itching to ask, you have access here at Cisco Live.
100%, Lauren. And again, we talk about community all the time, and community is more than just getting together with friends and hanging out in the social lounge and having a coffee together. A community means, as you just said, getting into the space and meeting directly one-on-one with an engineer and saying, I've got this challenge that I need to overcome. I've got this obstacle, and I know Cisco tells me that you can apply AI to create the data center that I actually need or to be able to drive my network and build its power. But how do I actually get it done, and how do I leverage the investments I've already made with Cisco? Where else can you do that one-on-one with an engineer and set up that space, right, Lauren?
Exactly. I don't think you can do it anywhere else. This is the place to do it, and we have this chance every year. So we are always excited to see you all here and taking advantage of who you have access. If you see me, ask me a question because I'll point you in the right direction. Like, you have access to all of us here.
We are going to find Lauren because Lauren's got enough energy for all of us. So you will see her out there on the concourse. Speaking of fantastic energy, my dear friend Rob Boyd is out in the keynote, being our eyes and ears out in that amazing space. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, sir. Yes, I had my eyes open. I was just watching and I was commenting. Because what's interesting is when you get in here early, as we get special access, because we're very special people as a part of the broadcast, is watching the doors first open and then watching the nerd walk. I mean that with all positivity. I don't mean any no shame. because I do the same thing. And it's like, let's get a good seat. And then you're in and you're scanning and you're figuring out, okay, there's some green things that just say reserved. Then over here, there's some red NetVet/CCIE. And then there's another reserve section that may or may not be that well marked. And everybody's figuring it out. Then there's these guys, if you look to your left, Julie, IT leadership. See, that was the sign I was looking for earlier. So these are all IT leadership. Let's salute them, thank them for their service. Appreciate them leading our IT. We need more IT leadership. Thank God they're all flowing in so we know that we're in good hands. This is going to be so much fun. So Steve, you and I have talked about this before, but the idea is that this is there's always kind of a turning point from that first day jitters of let's get the big announcements out so that we can release the press releases and get the backup information that we were struggling to then kind of connect with what we saw on stage yesterday. I would assume that what we're in store for today on stage is going to be more detail, yes. More demonstrations, and more of the second level of stuff that we all need, both from the executives that are speaking as well as the information that is being shared. We start to get a lot more detail about how we're actually going to implement what stuff is actually real and shipping versus being announced as coming up and still needing input, perhaps. Either way, this has been a fantastic crowd here. It's exciting to see them come in. I'm just going to be digging up a few. I'll be digging up a few interviews. I don't know exactly who they're going to be yet. Got a few potentials. We'll see if they make the cut. But either way, I'll throw back to you guys in the studio. And if you promise to check back with me and my other co-hosts here in the keynote.
That is a promise you can count on, Rob. Thank you again for bringing us the action out there. We do appreciate it. And actually, what Rob just said, I think that's so important, my friend, because, yes, yesterday is more conceptual. What are we doing? What are the new releases? What are the new announcements that we're making here at Cisco? Today is where we take those new announcements and we actually make them applicable. Everything conceptual is great. It gets us excited. It gets us inspired. But then how do we actually get things in action, start to apply them, figure out what works best for us so that we can be specific for our own needs, whether, again, we're somewhere on the data center journey or we're on that journey to the cloud or we're looking to be able to add additional power into the network to be able to support these new AI demands. It's an extraordinary quantity of bandwidth and power that's required. You know what you need for your organization. Here is where you get the answers that you are looking for, and it starts today. We're going to go back out to the show floor where my friend Michelle Moreira is out there. Good morning.
Hi, guys. Hello. I'm so excited to be here on day 2. Z, how are you feeling?
I am super excited, Michelle. I tell you, you know what kept me up last night is my passion to fuel your appetite to be here in the years to come. I tell you, the momentum is building in this room. I wish we had smell-o-vision, feel-o-vision, but you know what? I just read that, you know what's on the agenda today? I don't think we're far off. They're going to be talking about quantum revolution. It's closer than you think. So you want to tune into that today. I tell you, you need to be here. If you're not at Cisco Live, I don't know where you are. So wherever you're tuning in from your living room, your car, wherever you are, don't just watch. You need to experience this. This is an experience. So react, connect, tag us on social media. How about you, Michelle? How are you feeling?
She just got me even more excited. All right, today's keynote, Innovation in Action. We're talking about AI, all things AI today. If you guys are looking at your description on your phone of all of the breakout sessions, you can see the keynote. They have a description that says AI at Cisco is going to solve a lot of the world's problems. How are we going to land that message today? That's what I'm excited to hear.
We're doing it. We're doing it, Michelle.
All right. Back to you, Steve, in the studio.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Z, Michelle, can't wait to see you guys a little bit later. We're always so separated. I'm up here in the studio. They're out there having fun out in the keynote space. And I just look at them and I see their smiles and their great conversations that they're having and bringing the excitement to us here on the show floor. So when we talk about what is available here at the show, we always have this conversation. Why be here in person? We've got this phenomenal broadcast that comes out. Hey, guys, if you could bring down the guests over on the other side. So just I can't hear it. There we go. Now we're back with each other. This is the beauty of live theater, everybody. When we think about what we actually see out here on the show floor, it takes the opportunity to walk around, to connect with people, to get a sense of the depth and the breadth of the Cisco portfolio. And a lot of times we focus in on our one thing. I'm a security guy. I work in networking. I want to see what's going on in the data center. I want to stop into the NOC and check out what's going on there. It's when you're here that you get to walk in, you get that full big picture. It gets really exciting. We are going to go, I'm sorry, where are we going? I missed that. Okay, great. We're going to go. We're going to go over to Lauren. Lauren is here with some special guests. I appreciate it. It's great. This is the excitement of the morning. We don't know what's happening. It all flies in. Lauren, take it away.
Hello, hello, everyone. I am here with two amazing guests, Kevin Kennedy, VP of Product Marketing for the security unit here at Cisco, and also Matt Caulfield, VP of Product Duo and Identity Security here at Cisco. Thank you both for joining me today.
Good morning.
Kevin, I'm going to start with you with this first question, if you don't mind, and we jump right into it. How would you describe Cisco's Zero Trust Network Access strategy and like what we're doing in that space, and how is it related to SASE?
Sure, great question. So we are redefining it to make Zero Trust access truly universal, and we're eliminating blind trust. So Zero Trust Network Access came of age during the pandemic, and it was designed to solve the problem of that time, which was connecting employees at home on laptops to what turned out to be some set of applications. That's not enough today, and so we're taking it further and securely connecting everyone, whether it's employees, contractors, partners, IoT devices, soon agents, to any application, from a legacy application to an AI resource from anywhere, home, office, even distant locations like oil rigs and airplanes where you have bad networks. We do the plumbing. Users log in and get to work. So they have a consistent experience, and security teams have a consistent policy. But for Cisco, so we went further. And what do people expect from the network? It just works. And so we measure the experience. We give the tools to troubleshoot any issues, and we even predictively say, hey, something's going to go wrong, and stop it before it happens, both for the network and for the policy. And we've built this all, to the SASE point, we've built this all on the foundation of single vendor SASE, from market-leading SD-WAN to modern SSE, Thousand Eyes, VPN. There's a lot of technology that we've built over the years that's baked in. And so for customers who have those technologies, it makes it even easier to get going. And then there's the eliminating blind trust part, which...
That was a good segue. I think that was a perfect segue. And this one, Matt, is for you. How would you talk about what our identity first strategy looks like?
Yeah, of course. So not many people think of Cisco as an identity company, but we are. We do a ton of business in identity. And recently, what I'm most excited about is that Duo launched Duo Identity Access Management just a couple weeks ago. Last week, I was at Identiverse, which is another big conference for identity folks. And this week, we're here. We launched Duo from what people know it as, which is just multi-factor authentication. You get a push notification to your phone, you press allow, into a full identity suite. So identity access management gives companies, Cisco customers, the ability to use Duo as their standalone identity provider, or to use it with their existing identity provider. There's a lot we can do there, but what makes this also great is what Kevin was talking about. We tie this into our zero trust strategy and our universal zero trust architecture. Identity is a huge differentiator. Identity intelligence, identity access management is a huge differentiator. We're one of the only vendors for zero trust in the industry that has an integrated identity solution.
Wow, wow. And I have to ask, right, because we've been hearing a lot about AI and agentic AI here at the conference. How does this solution really fit into that picture?
Yeah, one of the big topics right now is agentic AI. So how do I, I'll give you an example, as an employee, spin up a bunch of agents to do some work for me? I can 10x my productivity if I only had like an email inbox agent and a travel booking agent and somebody to do market research for me. All of this has been impossible up until now because agents and AI has been stuck in a sandbox with read-only data. Maybe you have a RAG API, but that's about it. We're going to unlock that with Universal Zero Trust by giving agents the same access as employees have to resources, SaaS, cloud, on-prem resources, so they can start taking actions on our behalf. And Cisco, through our Zero Trust architecture, through agentic identity, through agentic access, we're going to make that possible in a way that's safe and secure for our customers.
Amazing. I'm excited. I just love the fact that we are doing this with that one Cisco in mind, too. Like, in this whole conversation, I hear the collaborative pieces and how it all fits together like a puzzle. So this has been amazing. It's been a pleasure speaking to the both of you. I am going to pass it back over to Steve.
Lauren, so appreciated. And Kevin and Matt, really great to have you with us. Thank you for taking the time to be in studio, and great to get that ZTNA inside story. Zero Trust is such an important and powerful part of advancing the network of onboarding AI capabilities. When we look at being able to do AI responsible, a huge part of that is security's got to be embedded from the core. So really appreciate the two of you being here. We are going to head directly back out into the keynote space, where Z is getting a little quality time with Rodney Clark. Hey there, Z.
Hi there, Steve. I'm here with Rodney Clark, our head of partners. Rodney, tell me this. You know, there's so many exciting announcements going on, innovations that we're releasing. You know, you're responsible for all of our partners. What really keeps you up at night, or what's your passion, and what do you want our partners to get out of this week, and what really sets your fire, sets you aflame?
Well, for our partners, just like all of us here at Cisco, this is like the biggest selling event of the year.
Yeah.
We have over 150 partners participating in this in the world of solutions. They're hosting their customers. We're participating and hosting alongside to try and accelerate business. But the cool thing that my partners are telling me is yesterday in the innovation and G2's book of announcements has been amazing. 3 things that they're excited about: unified Catalyst, Meraki platform, all that coming together. Agentic Ops and AI Canvas, oh my gosh, an amazing services opportunity for our partners.
Wow.
And then our ongoing development on pods, AI pods, specifically that Splunk pod announcement was pretty cool. So they're fired up and they're using that energy to engage with their customers, trying to accelerate opportunities.
Wow. Well, Rodney, I am super excited for what's next, and I'm sure you're going to be reporting back to us all the things that you're hearing. Steve, back to you.
Thank you so much, Z. I appreciate it. Please give our thanks to Rodney as well. He's just an amazing voice for Cisco, great advocate, remarkable mind, and great passion and heart for the brand and for what it is that we do and what it is that we bring to the marketplace. We are about 12 and a half minutes out from the day's opening keynote. Stay with us here on the broadcast. Make sure to keep reaching out to us using social media. Just add in hashtag Cisco Live and at Cisco Live so our social media team can see and respond to all of your posts. Thank you for engaging with us throughout the show. I'm super excited at this point. I'm looking up in the monitor that's like slightly over to my left, and what do you know? There's Michelle hanging out with rock star, superstar Carrie Palin. Hey there, Michelle.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the show flow. I am here with Carrie Palin, SVP and Chief Marketing Officer at Cisco. Carrie, I'm such a fan. I can't believe I get to interview you. Today, I'm going to ask you a couple questions.
Yeah.
The first is innovation in action. What can we be looking forward to, thinking about, tuning into during this keynote?
Well, first of all, yesterday we dropped a massive payload on innovation. It was just announcement after announcement after announcement, and everybody was in awe with all of the amazing innovation coming out of the portfolio right now, and especially cross-portfolio, which is super exciting. And today we're going to hear from customers, Ford and University of California, San Diego, talking about how that innovation is actually being put to action to drive their outcomes. And that's my favorite part, which is really, we can talk all day long about the amazing tech we're bringing to life, but seeing it move the needle for our customers through their voice, money.
That's powerful.
Yeah, it's powerful.
All right, I have to ask one more on AI.
Yeah.
In this era of AI, how can we be mindful of our customer experience?
Oh, yeah. So I was actually talking with an analyst yesterday at our analyst roundtable, and I had this comment, and he said, yeah, I actually get that. And I was like, look, AI is amazing because it's helping us just supercharge IQ. But what AI doesn't have is EQ. And we have to drive a level of intimacy with our customers where we not only know them, but we anticipate how they're feeling and when they need us and when they need us to back off. And that level of nuance is not AI. That nuance is human beings that are wrapping that experience around the AI and doing it together. And that will never change. And it's so important that we have all these big, beautiful brains in the room with us today, all these lovely humans, because they're the ones who are going to be doing that out in the ether with their customers.
Absolutely. Carrie, thank you so much for your time. I'm excited to hear you talk and everybody talk today at the keynote and throughout the day. Back to you, Steve, in the audience.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I think Carrie may have just hit my favorite thing of the morning. Big, beautiful brains. That's exactly what this event is all about. It's about the customer experience, as Carrie also just said, right? If we are not creating better outcomes, then what is the point of the technology, the service, the solution that we are able to build? We are a phenomenal organization. We have the best partners, the best customers in the world, but it's about getting to better outcomes for the individual, because what are our companies, our organizations made up of? Tons and tons and tons of individual humans, each with their own specific need, their own demand, their own vision of what success looks like. What Carrie just said is so brilliant. How do we listen enough and then back off enough to give them their autonomy? As Chuck said yesterday at the top of the opening keynote on Tuesday, he said that whether we like it or not, the good news and the bad news, it all comes down to us individually. How do we go to our leadership? How do we go to our teams? How do we go to the people making the executive decisions and say, here is what we need in order to thrive, in order to create success? It's all on us, the individual. We are the users with the user experience as much as the people that we're selling products to or partnering with. Really excited to hear from Carrie. She's just, again, a remarkable leader for us here at Cisco. I am again glancing off to my left using my peripheral vision right over here, and I see Rob Boyd back out there in the keynote space with another special guest. Rob, let me send it out to you, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. I made a new friend here for Indianapolis, correct?
That is correct.
I was curious. Oh, there's our hosts. They're going by behind us. Pay no attention to behind the scenes here. So, Jim, you were telling me, so I know you specialize, you had built a company up specializing in Splunk technologies.
Yeah.
You guys were acquired by Presidio. What I really wanted to find out from you, I feel like Splunk, no secret that Splunk has been a great company to work with, because Cisco had been working with them long before the acquisition. But I feel like we're seeing more integration now, and I'm just curious from your perspective, working with more customers, what do you think the greatest strength is, and do you feel like we're hitting it?
Well, hey, look, my team, we've been working with Splunk for like 13 years.
Yeah.
So I now lead the Splunk practice for Presidio. So we're, dedicated Cisco partner. Look, like everyone at Cisco, they won the lottery, okay? Okay, like a lot of people think that Splunk is a security tool. It's like, no. It's a data platform. Okay, but like, we're going to learn a little bit later today, like powering the AI, data center, and like, well, what do you need for that? You need data.
Yeah.
And Splunk is the Mac Daddy in the marketplace for collecting, indexing, and allowing analytical insights out of data.
Well, and it's funny, sometimes I think we look at the observability, we look at the ability to see deeper into what is actually happening in the entire stack, right?
Yep.
And that lends itself to security as well. So it lends itself to us understanding, but understanding is required to make decisions, especially when it comes to how do we move to automating these things and having trust in it, right?
Yes, yeah. So we heard yesterday, security and observability coming together like this.
Yep.
The future is agentic AI. What does agentic AI need? It needs data. And that's why we saw, like in one of the slides, that digital resilience thing on the bottom.
Absolutely.
Like, people are like, oh, well, what the heck does that mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, well, we're going to get resilience on the infrastructure through data.
You're right.
And Splunk makes that happen.
It's like mining for that gold, so we know how to reprocess it.
Yes.
But I think the ability to have good data and have the right guardrails around it is also going to be key to what we do with AI, so we can trust the outputs, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And I think we're starting to hear a little bit more about what Cisco's doing uniquely in the AI space in terms of building their own models. Not going to ask you to comment on that, because I was like,
it's like.
Do you have any thoughts?
Oh, like AI Canvas? Oh my gosh, that's ripped out. That is like crazy. And I just have a strong hunch Splunk's going to play a role power in that.
Oh, that's perfect. Well, Jim, I thank you for this is your first Cisco Live, right?
It is. The
good
music
impressions?
is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I could just sit here and listen to the tunes.
Well, it's like you had like a little bit of a show. Like, this is a lot. This is a big conference.
There's a lot
way.
of human beings, yes.
That's awesome. Thank you for everything that you do. And guys, we'll go back to you in the studio.
Rob, thank you so much. And our thanks to Jim as well. Good to get that Splunk story, as Jim just said. The Mac Daddy on the data front. I actually really love that. Speaking of that, I'm going to bring in the Mac Mama, who is sitting not too far away from me, because, Lauren, you have a lot of direct Splunk experience. You came to all of this on the Splunk side. What was that experience like in terms of the move to combine the data power, the power of the aggregation of the data lake and the application of that data on the Cisco side? Give us your insight.
I honestly think that it was a match made in heaven. I know that sounds like maybe that's too much, but it's true, right? Because if you think about it, I love what Jim said about Splunk being the Mac Daddy. I feel like nobody knows data like Splunk, and then nobody knows networks like Cisco. And then nobody can power this thing like with AI like Splunk and Cisco together. So for me, it's really been amazing seeing the technology seamlessly integrate And then the people, just being able to share, like the shared vision, working as a Cisco employee for a number of years and as a Splunk employee, I will say that both companies have the same values, people-centric, customer-centric, and problem-solving centric. So again, match made in heaven. And I love seeing us be better together. We may overuse that, but we're doing it because it's true. We truly are better together when we come as one, and you're seeing it as through all the discussions. If you go out in the world of solutions, you will see the power of the one platform, and you're not hearing technology by technology. You're seeing outcomes. You're seeing how we're driving business outcomes.
It's a great point, Lauren. I appreciate it. I want to go back to something Chuck said yesterday in the opening keynote. I'm going to quote him directly because he's going to say it better than I ever could. Between technology transitions and the geopolitical landscape, our lives are so much more complicated, and the demand to build with security, integrity, and consideration for humanity is larger than it's ever been before, right? So that is the idea of putting these great minds together, and that security track is so vital, and also bringing the best minds together, and that's where we're going to go out to Michelle right now, who's got one of our NetVet and CCIE folks with her. Hey there, Michelle.
That's all right.
Michelle, you got me?
Hello.
I
can hear you now, Steve. Thanks for bringing it over. I'm with my new friend, Keith. Keith, how many Cisco Lives have you been to, and where are you coming from?
I have actually been to 7 Cisco Cisco Lives, even back when it was networkers back in the day. So,
An OG.
Yep. I am from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So, yep.
Welcome. And one question for you: what was most impactful about all of the stuff that you heard yesterday, and what are you looking forward to today?
Well, all right. So, to me, the dashboards, being able to troubleshoot things in a really quick manner. That is an awesome thing to have, and I'm just looking forward to how AI is going to take us to the next level. So
that's exactly what we're hoping to hear as well today. AI is a big part of today, this keynote, as well as the rest of these sessions. So stay tuned, tune in. We've got you. All right, now I'm walking over to Z.
Thanks, Michelle. I tell you, I am here with Josh Dodd. He is from sunny San Diego, right here from the area. And I tell you guys, Josh is expensive because he came from the Splunk acquisition. So this man is worth, he's worth more than I can even pay for. So Josh, tell me, what brought you to Cisco Live this year?
Well, thank you. First of all, I hope we're worth it. This is my first experience at Cisco Live, and it's been electric. It's been wonderful to be around the Cisconians, seeing the customers. I love the keynote yesterday. I think I especially appreciated G2 talking about different services, product launch announcements, and of course the integration of Splunk and how Splunk's going to play a key role in serving our customers.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Josh, I appreciate your time and look forward to much, much more. I tell you, keep watching, lean in, because there's more ahead of you.
More to come.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Z, I'm going to take it back over here in the studio. I appreciate it. Our thanks to Josh as well, and welcome in from the Splunk side. It's good to have you as part of the family. Lauren, we're about, we're going to call it 2 minutes from kicking off the keynote. We are so excited about that. A moment ago, Michelle had a chance to talk with one of our NetVets, one of our CCIEs. Education is such an important part of this event, right? Not only do we come together to learn about the Cisco products, technology, services, AI, security, networking, but validation is an important part. Getting Cisco certifications, they're free here at the show, right, Lauren? How cool is that?
It's super cool. And then there's the labs are hands-on. We have DevNet. Like, the learning doesn't stop. If there was ever a place where you can learn as much as you need to and want to, this is the place. And what makes it what makes it the best is that it's fun. Like, it's fun to learn because everybody around you is also excited to learn. So you don't feel like, I don't know, like a stand, like, oh my God, am I the only one? You don't feel that way. I think I said it earlier, but you're never alone here at Cisco Live.
Oh, that is such a good point. Good point. Well, Lauren, that has brought us right up to the vital point. I'm going to go ahead and make the introduction here for the keynote. We are so excited to head on in. This is the day 2 keynote here on Wednesday morning from San Diego. Let's set this up. Innovation in action. So Chuck Robbins, Chair and Chief Executive Officer, Carrie Palin, Senior VP and Chief Marketing Officer, Liz Santoni, Executive VP and Chief Customer Experience Officer, Oliver Tuzik, who I get to talk to later, Executive VP, Global Sales and Chief Sales Officer. Huge minds, huge talents, great leaders behind Cisco's drive to harness the power of AI. So we're going to see the ways that we can drive growth, build a better world together. We will learn about all of the new innovations, the new announcements, the new releases that we've created here in the AI era to really hone in on the customer experience, how Cisco helps you, your organization, navigate through it all. And it is so hard to navigate right now. Things are changing faster than ever. We can't keep up with the pace of change. How far out could we really plan before we have to rewrite the playbook over and over and over again? You don't have to do this alone. Cisco is your partner in every single way. We create the tools, the technologies, the services, the solutions. The people who are here are visiting all of those down at the Cisco Showcase, where we'll tour a little later following the keynote. But it's a very exciting day. Special guests coming in as well from Langchain, University of California, San Diego, from Ford Motor Company. We're going to be heading out to the keynote in just a moment. As a reminder, as the keynote rolls by and you hear these great insights, these great thoughts, ping us with your responses. What did you love? What did you get excited about? Put them up there on social media. We want to hear what you have to say. What is getting you excited? Where your thoughts are going? Let's head out to the keynote. Away we go.
Please welcome back Senior Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer, Carrie Palin.
Good morning and welcome to the Day 2 keynote. Yesterday, we heard so much about that massive innovation payload that Jeetu and his team dropped on us right here on this stage. And I spent the entire day thinking about all the notes I took, all the excitement I had with everything that we're going to be experiencing in the next just few months. But today, we are actually going to hear from customers and partners directly as to how that Cisco innovation is driving really important outcomes for each of them. First to the stage, we'll have Liz Centoni, Cisco's Chief Customer Experience Officer, and with her, she'll have very special guest, CEO and co-founder of Langchain, Harrison Chase. By the way, I just said Harrison Chase, and I thought forever I was going to say Harrison Ford, and I got it right. I'm so happy about that. Harrison Chase, and they're going to be discussing the future of agentic CX. Next up will be Oliver Tusik. He is our EVP of Global Sales and Chief Sales Officer, and new to role, and we're so excited to have him in the role. And he is going to be bringing two really cool customers up to stage with him. One is Ford, and he'll have Patrick Milligan, the Chief Information Security Officer from Ford. And the next is the University of California, San Diego, with Dr. Vince Kellen, CIO. I think the most important thing about today is hearing everything about how Cisco's technology is actually driving important outcomes for our customers through their stories, through their experiences, because that's why we do what we do. We do this for you, and I'm excited to hear from them. I hope you all enjoy the keynote. I hope you have an amazing day afterwards and a wonderfully fun night with the killers tonight on stage. Mr. Brightside, anyone? Right, okay. I'm excited about it too. Well, with that, we're going to bring our Chief Customer Experience Officer, Liz Centoni, to the stage.
Good morning, everybody. Wow, good. A crowd that's awake already. I love that. So yesterday you heard from Jeetu about some incredible innovations. I want to make clear, our job in CX is to bring that technology to life in your environment. I'm going to spend some time today talking about the investments that we're making to better serve you in the AI era. Now, everything that you're going to hear from me today did not exist a year ago. It's brand new, and this is incredible in terms of the speed at which the team has delivered. I'm also excited that you get to hear directly and we get to learn from Harrison Chase, the CEO of LangChain. The LangChain team has really been instrumental in helping us move from just experimenting with agents to actually building useful agents at scale. So let me start with what you've been telling us for years. Should be very familiar. You want resiliency, simplicity, and time to value. And now, in the era of AI, your expectations have just accelerated even further. You've been telling us that, hey, I want you to move rapidly from break-fix to give me proactive and predictive experiences. I want hyper-personalization from deployment to adoption to support across every touch point that we have with you. And I need you to speed up time to value, but with human oversight and trust. And when I think about the traditional approach to customer experience, it's just not built for this level of complexity or pace. So what's needed is a new kind of CX. Now, over the years, we've thrown automation at it, we've layered AI on top, and we've made progress. Actually, to be fair, really good progress. But it still needs humans to stitch everything together. And that's the gap. And that's where agentic systems come in. Because the exciting part about agentic systems is it gives us the ability to solve problems that we all have been just circling around for many, many years. Problems which I say boring problems. My team hates it when I do that. But it's problems that we all know that have been a hassle for so many years. We want to change the nature of how we interact with you, where we go to intelligent anticipation versus just pure reaction, where we can do radical personalization, but do it at scale, and where we can amplify our team's expertise, the teams that support you, by removing the friction that they face in doing their jobs every day. Now, using agentic systems, over time, these systems understand operational environments deeper than any one person can, because it's continuously analyzing historical data, real-time telemetry, interaction patterns, and feedback loops across the full stack. What it helps us do is it helps us understand your environment and your teams better so that we can personalize, we can anticipate, and recommend actions. Our goal in this is to make every customer feel like our only customer. Now, to deliver this amazing experience, we've got to get rid of the problems that actually stand in the way. Like problems like where 50% of a network professional's time is spent on manual tasks every single week. 80% of security breaches are actually caused by human error. Now, addressing these pain points require more than just incremental fixes. The AI era isn't just changing what we build. It actually is opening up entirely new ways in how we deploy, adopt, and operate technology. The way we're approaching it is we're fundamentally changing how we deliver resiliency, simplicity, and time to value. So when I think about, okay, I was thinking about this and saying, how do I go deep into each one of these and still keep it pretty crisp? And my mental model is things in three. So I had to actually think through which are the three favorites that I pick under each one: resiliency, simplicity, and time to value. There's a lot more that we're doing that when you go to the CX booth on the show floor, that you'll get to see. So let's talk about how we keep your environments highly resilient and reliable. Your configs can feel like the new tech debt. And why do I say that? We get about 1.67 million support cases every year. 25% of that are related to config issues. We can envision a future where we go from config chaos to config confidence. Like with services as code, we're integrating pre-testing with the deployment pipeline so that we can catch config issues and errors up front. Now, make no mistake, this is not just about finding defects. Here, we're proactively validating configurations against established best practices and your specific operational requirements. Our goal is to be able to give you high confidence and proactively mitigate risk. We do this with ACI today. It's in deployment with over 100 customers. We're rolling this out across the entire Cisco portfolio. Next, when I think about network drift, I think about it as submarine warfare. It strikes below the surface, and by the time you realize it, it's done some sizable damage already. We all know that networks drift over time from their original design intent. Our goal is to fix it before it falters. And we're doing this with a continuous digital evaluation of the network's current state versus its intended state. We're then using AI-driven recommendation to remediate and align with best practices. And the third thing that we're doing here in the area of resiliency is around building real-time health checks to include things like cross-domain dependencies, where we can do the proactive monitoring and alert you or provide you with early insights into potential issues in your environment and provide recommended actions as well. So let's do a little bit of a sneak peek in what Services as Code is. Please roll the video.
40% of network outages, 9% of annual revenue lost, all because of configuration mistakes that never should have happened. You are going to see how we are turning configuration chaos to configuration confidence and the first steps of that journey with Services as Code. Imagine you are remapping bridge domains within an ACI fabric. While updating the VLANs to voice, you make a mistake in the configuration, forgetting to change VLAN 103 to VLAN 203. Now, with Services as Code, you get a best-in-breed GitOps with integrated tests. When you commit the changes, the system detects a mismatch between configuration and intent and fails the commit. Now, aware of the issue, you're able to go back to the editor, fix the configuration, recommit the change, and merge the request, triggering the DevOps pipeline and ensuring successful deployment. One of our customers who adopted this summed it up perfectly. Security, resiliency, consistency, you delivered all three.
Now, I get excited after seeing that. There's a full demo that's available in our AI-ready data center booth on the show floor. So next, I want to talk about how we're helping simplify the experience. And so how do we make it consistent and easy to use automation across the life cycle? Now, you've given us that feedback many, many times that we need to simplify the experience with fewer interfaces and more validated integrations. So we're providing you with a single and intuitive experience. You'll get a hyper-personalized view into your entire Cisco environment, where you can see your install base, the adoption progress, risk analysis, and you get integrated troubleshooting as part of that as well. You can actually generate dashboards programmatically. You can see your software renewal timelines, you can see vulnerabilities, and you can see misconfigurations as well. The other thing that we're doing in the area of simplicity is dynamic change assistance. So here we're focused on helping you evaluate the potential impact of changes in your environment, changes like performance shifts or field notices, and provide guidance to be able to minimize risk. And the third area that we're doing is we're digitizing this massive intellectual capital that we have with TAC cases and professional services best practices, so we can proactively alert you to opportunities around optimizing your environment and reduce the likelihood of outages. And as you'll see across all of these are pain points you deal with every day that we help you with as you reach out to us on support or even on deploy and adoption. It's not a lot of rocket science here. But I'd love for us to show you a sneak peek into what that unified interface looks like. Please roll the video.
They say you can't have hyper-personalization and simplicity together. Pick one. We say, why choose? What you are about to see is the first major step towards a unified experience that gives you insights across your environment and learns your operations inside and out. It's the beginning of building something that eventually knows you better than you do. Taking a look at your Cisco assets, you see what's in use and what's on its way out. The last date of support grabs your attention. A curated list and timeline shows which devices are affected and when, helping you plan and act confidently. The Risk Explorer enables you to proactively manage risk unique to your environment. From the overview, you spot a vulnerability tied to a new security hardening guide. This lengthy, technical document has been transformed into a clear set of compliance checks, tailored and run against each device. Selecting a device, you see the unique diagnostic information. The system generates a script to remediate the issue, and you can execute it with ease. The system reruns the compliance check to confirm the fix, improving your security posture. In the support experience, you see your cases and history. Additionally, you can access the unified AI assistant for troubleshooting, which builds on the Cisco Support Assistant available today. With personalized context, you can ask questions about devices in your inventory and receive tailored responses. You can even ask for a recommendation to address a security advisory, allowing you to quickly resolve issues before they become a problem. Our mission is simple: achieve the depth and breadth of understanding where every customer here feels like they are our only customer.
And that's the exciting part for us. We want everyone in this audience to feel like our only customer, because as agentic systems come in, we want to know you better than you know yourself and keep your environments highly resilient, reliable, and simple as well. So the third one I'm going to talk about is how do we help you maximize value from your Cisco investments? There's a gap. We all know there's a gap between purchased and value realized. We want to be able to close that gap. So what we've started doing is we're digitizing your intent, your goals, your KPIs from the start so that we can prioritize features that actually matter and align to your intent, not just a set of features that we give our customer success teams. This way we can also adapt in real time to align to your evolving needs, because we know that's not static across the full life cycle. We just released an adoption agent that provides a personalized adoption journey, aligning onboarding to your intent directly. Next, we've also created this notion of a personalized automation framework. It creates a validated design approach based on our understanding of your environment, the design, the real-time telemetry. So what does this do? So say you want to add a branch to your new environment, or to your environment. We ensure that the SD-WAN and the unified branch operations configs are tested and validated. And lastly, when we think about mean time to repair, maybe we have a different view of what that means. I look at MTTR as a measure of how much manual work that we're still doing. Over 60% of our attack cases, and I believe the number is much higher now as well, are resolved leveraging AI and automation and helping us shrink the time down to issues resolution. Our Attack Assistant, which has more than 250,000 unique users, works alongside our support engineers to offer remediation suggestions. So think about, like, what's the next best action? And this is based on extensive knowledge base that we've digitized and best practices from resolving similar issues. This is a big shift. It's a major shift from manual workflows to proactive AI-assisted automation. And we're embedding this AI assistant support into our products. You'll see this down, whether it's digital resilience, whether it's in AI-ready data centers. We're embedding this into our products to streamline operations even further. We're not just accelerating time to value. We're transforming how quickly you can turn intent into real impact. So in summary, I would say is, we're building a future-forward CX powered by agentic AI across the entire life cycle, across your entire life cycle. The goal is to give you foresight, faster adoption, and greater value every step of the way. Agentic CX is not just about better service. It will certainly provide you that. It's an opportunity to grow with you, to learn from you, and to adapt with your needs as your needs evolve and the world continues to change. Now, building this future, we're doing this with a few key partners. One of them is LangChain. So please help me welcome the CEO and co-founder of LangChain, Harrison Chase. So I'm going to start with a few words on Harrison, because if I ask him to introduce himself, he'll probably say a one-liner. He's way too humble for that. He just didn't jump on the agent bandwagon today. He built the framework, the tools, and the community that made it possible for the rest of us. I'm sure many of you in the audience have benefited from him and his team's work and don't even know it today. So LangChain, for those of you who do not know, solves the biggest headache in building useful agents at scale, making them reliable, and connecting them to real systems. Millions have the same problems, and you had, 70 million downloads last month? Harrison has been hands-on in the evolution from simple chatbots to ambient agents that can orchestrate complex workflows and integrate with the enterprise tools. So Harrison, great to have you. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me here. This is my first Cisco Live. It's awesome. And Carrie, I apologize that I'm not Harrison Ford. He is the superior Harrison.
I think you'll always remember that one. I will, every time we'll watch an Indiana Jones movie. So I want to start with something that really resonates with why we chose to work together. You could have built LangChain as a closed platform, probably made a lot more money. Instead, you chose to open source the foundation framework. What drove that decision?
I think there's a few reasons. I think one of the core things that we believe is it's really early on in this journey of Gen AI and LLMs and agents. And so we think that by working with an open source community, we can just learn a lot more and develop the framework and the ecosystem a lot faster than if it was closed source. And so optimizing for the speed and learning was a huge part of that. And then the other part is just where LangChain sits in the ecosystem. We're the glue that holds a lot of these components together and orchestrates them. And I think something like that in today's age just has to be open source for the developers who want to use it.
Love that. So your open approach aligns perfectly with our agent future for CX. We're thinking about agents everywhere across our many workflows, and we have a lot of those. But I also want our teams to have freedom to pick the models, to architect the intelligence. So can you talk some more about what this means? And the audience is looking at the slide where I did lift some stuff from your conference, by the way, that's on the slide, so kind of plagiarized a little bit. So talk some more about it, and also help us understand, how should we think about monitoring and troubleshooting? Because when I think about a distributed agent system, and I think about, hey, it's the customer experience on the line.
Yeah, this is one of the big things that we've been focused on, because it's pretty easy to build a demo of something that looks great on Twitter, but getting it to be reliable enough to put in front of thousands or millions of customers is a whole different thing. And so when thinking about how to make Gen AI agents actually work, there's a few different kind of processes that we like to think about. First is kind of just the debugging workflow. When you're working with these agents, when they go off the rails because what goes into the LLM at the end of the day just doesn't have enough context or information, or it's not kind of appropriately specified. And so being able to see all the steps that happen in the agent, all of the different retrieval things it does, the sources it's gathering before it calls the LLM, that's super important for this debugging workflow. And then being able to see exactly what goes in and exactly what comes out. super important. And crucially, this isn't just developers that are trying to debug these agents. This is oftentimes subject matter experts or product managers, because those are the people who know the agent the best. So after you debug a single thing, you then want to test, you then want to go on to kind of testing it more at scale. And so building up tens or hundreds or thousands of different test cases that it might see in the wild that are representative of what people might ask it to do, and then run against these to benchmark, make sure you're not regressing, things like that. And then finally, when you deploy it and you're getting thousands, millions of queries, you can't look at every single one of them by hand. So then it becomes time to try to look in aggregate for statistics or trends. What tools is it calling? What paths is it going down? And these types of production insights are a third type of debugging and insights that you want to be generating.
So those orchestration tracing capabilities become a lot more important. Not that they weren't before, but this is a different way in terms of how we're approaching that. Now, talk to us a little bit about, we talk about the fact that the future is really mostly about ambient agents. But what does that mean? Why should we be excited about ambient agents?
This is one of the things that we're most excited about. So if we think about AI today, we mostly think of chatbots that we go to and we message them, and then we see some text streaming back at us, and then we message them again, and there's this back and forth. And that's great. That's useful. I use ChatGPT or Claude every day. But I think there's a few reasons why we're excited about ambient agents. And ambient agents we define as agents that are triggered by events, run in the background, but they're not completely autonomous. And so I want to break down those things. So if they're triggered by events, that means that I can scale myself as a professional a lot more, because I'm no longer kind of like kicking off an agent. There's not a one-to-one kind of like interaction. It's now triggered by events, so there could be thousands, hundreds, thousands, millions, whatever, of agents running in the background at the same time. And so I can scale myself and scale the effect that I have a lot more. And then the key part's running in the background as well. If I have chat open, maybe I can have two windows open side by side, but again, I'm kind of like rate limited by just the interactions that I can kick off and be looking at. And so if they're running in the background, it's a little bit different. And that also lets agents do a lot more interesting things, because in the background, they can take longer to do things. But then crucially, I think ambient does not mean autonomous. We very much believe in like human in the loop interaction patterns. If you have an agent that's running, there's absolutely going to be cases where you're going to want to give it feedback, where you're going to have to answer questions, approve actions that it's going to want to take. And so I want to also emphasize that ambient very much I don't think means autonomous.
I'm glad you said that, because we look at it as augmentation, not taking over roles, maybe task at some point in time. Now you see through LangChain millions of workflows. So what's the real scoop? Like between real and marketing, how much of today's agents are just sophisticated chatbots?
I mean, it's still early on, but I think we're getting there. If you look at, so coding is a vertical that I think leads the way in a lot of agent and AI applications. And if you just look at what's happened in that industry over the past year or so, I think it speaks for where we're going. So, we started with kind of like just autocomplete of individual lines. Then we moved into kind of like chat experiences in the editor. In the past 3 weeks, there's been like 5 or 6 different like long-running async background agents that have been released from OpenAI, Anthropic, Cursor. And I think this speaks to the future of where we're headed. We're headed more and more towards these longer-running things that run in the background. You can kick off many in parallel. And so, yes, I think it's early, and most things are chatbots, but I think that's absolutely where we're headed.
And something you said just stuck with me in your prior answer is, it means that we need to flip our mindset as well, right? We can't just think about the traditional ways of build it, ship it, and then maintain it. It's almost like our mental model needs to shift to build it, learn from it, and continuously improve it. And that goes for not just developers, but users as well. Now, all of this only matters if we execute, right? So maybe help us understand a little bit, like, what should Cisco customers in the audience expect from what we're doing? And I know you touched on this a little bit, but maybe package it for us.
Absolutely, and I think you touched on a few key points as well. One is just model optionality. So there are a lot of different models out there, and they're good at different things, and you're going to want to use them in different scenarios, whether it's on-prem, whether it's really small ones that run on device, whether it's larger ones that run in the cloud. And so through LangChain and through our collaboration, Cisco customers can expect that whatever agents come out there will be powered by the appropriate model at the appropriate time. We're also working on these types of longer running, background, proactive, ambient agents. And so a lot of this is powered by LangGraph, our framework for building these types of agents that emphasizes the long running and the human in the loop interaction patterns. And then we talked about debugging, of course. This is where one of our tools, Langsmith, comes into play. It has that whole debugging, testing and evaluating, and then monitoring thing. And crucially, I also want to say that one of the things that we're really excited to work with you all on is making sure that all of these things and all of the agents that we build can run wherever Cisco customers want them. And that means on-prem, that means on device, that means on the cloud. And so you guys obviously have a very storied tradition of on-prem and bringing things there. And so we're excited to push boundaries there as well.
Wonderful. I'm glad you emphasized the on-prem aspect of it as well. So I'd say in closing, we're past the point of asking if agents will transform CX. The only question is how fast and who leads. The infrastructure is here, the patterns are proven, and the teams that architect the intelligence today will define what customer experience looks like tomorrow. So thank you for showing us what's possible when you stop talking and actually starts building. A round of applause for Harrison Chase, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Les.
I feel every time I sit down with him, I learn something new. He ends up making us a little bit more smarter each time. I want to thank you all, because everything that you saw here is your influence, your feedback. So thank you for helping us as we jointly walk this future together on what an agentic-led customer experience looks like. And when I think about customer experience, is the customer at the center of everything that we do. And so I'm excited that we now get to hear from Oliver Tusick and two of our most favorite customers. So please help me welcome Oliver Tusick.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. So good to be back in the US. So good to be back here at Cisco Live. Let me come back on what Liz just presented to you. And I hope you saw, we're not talking about the vision of AI. We're talking about embracing it, utilizing today. This is a real-world use case, delivering benefits, improved quality, faster solutions, and productivity gains right now. This is an amazing use case within Cisco. So if you want to hear more about this one, want to learn from our experience, or want to get help on how you can embrace AI, please reach out to Liz and the CX teams, to the account teams, or any of our amazing partners out there. Now, I hope you can see that Cisco as a company is becoming 100% AI company. I know that's a big statement, and don't get me wrong, I'm not sure if Kevin is here. We're not becoming a competitor for OpenAI. But everything we do, in every part of the business, we embrace AI. The way we design our products, the way we embed AI into our products, the type of products we develop to allow you to embrace the power of AI in a safe and secure way, how we deliver and build our services, how we run our operations, how we manage the entire system, we embrace in every piece of this AI. That's how we want to lead in this area. Now, I got a pretty tough job at the end of the session to summarize all the announcements, the amazing innovation, the new features, everything you saw over the last days. That's quite a lot, and Jeetu spent a lot of time on this one, so I don't believe I will be able to do this just in 5 minutes. So what I want to do, I want to explain what is behind it, what is driving us, how we're building these portfolio, and I mean the entire portfolio, starting from the core networking, security, collaboration, observability, data center, AI, and of course not to forget the amazing piece of Splunk that we embedded in everything. But what is behind this? What is the driver? Jeetu is always talking about creating products that customers love to buy, that are 10 times better, focusing on quality. At the end, what is driving us is simplification. We are driving simplification, building more integrated products, building platforms, because you want to reduce your complexity. You want to increase your productivity. We help you to create digital resilience across the entire portfolio. And of course, we help you to drive the adoption of AI. But there's one more thing that is overruling everything. It's a fundamental principle, how we design our product and services. Everything, at the end, starts with you. Everything we build, everything we design is built based on your feedback. No matter if you're a CCIE, running operations, running a SOC, your needs define our roadmap. Your challenges are what we are focusing on, and your vision, your mission, what you're trying to achieve is driving us. So whatever we do starts with you. Now, if I want to end this session, I think the best way would be bring all the customers up on stage and let them talk about, did we deliver? I don't have the exact number, but looking at the stage, I think it would be pretty crowded. So instead of asking all of you to come up on stage, I will pick two customers, two amazing customers that we have, customers that have been working with us for a long time. The first one is a local customer, a customer that is running a pretty complex, challenging environment, a $9 billion business. And I had a couple of discussions with him recently, and he was telling me how he's driving the AI motion. And he made a statement that I want to share with all of you. It's a pretty big statement, because he said we should aim to respond to the prediction, not to the incident. So he's moving the automation to the next level, and he really drives this with a power I've never seen before. It's a great honor for me to welcome on stage the CIO of the University of California, San Diego. Please welcome Dr. Vince Kellen.
Oliver, I want to thank you for the glowing comments, but when my wife hears that, she says, "That's great, Vince, take out the garbage."
Before we get to this pretty bold statement and your view on AI, maybe tell us a bit more about your role and UCSD.
Yeah, I'm the CIO. Think of me as kind of corporate CIO. We have a CIO in the hospital. We work hand in hand on all of this, especially the network and security layer. And I'm responsible for the larger hospitality mission, the research mission, and the education mission, and of course the administration for everything. So it's a lot of technology. We have 15,000 access points, 5,000 switches, firewalls galore, Splunk, use of Splunk. So it's a complex environment. It's kind of like a city, actually. We have at least 100, 150,000 people going through our campus each day.
You've been talking about a city. Now let's talk about the citizens. You were telling you have some of the most demanding end users, and yes. I heard stories about even active protest if something on the IT side is not working.
No, that is correct. And some time ago, I talked to our CISO, and I said, we have to protect ourselves from the outside world. She's like, we got to protect ourselves from our dorm students. And they're a demanding audience. You take, it's the Maslow's hierarchy. Wi-Fi's underneath, and underneath that is battery. So when those are gone, they complain. And so it's a very tough environment. We also have rogue stuff coming in all the time on the network. And so it's a complex, dynamic environment.
Talk about complexity. I think higher education in these days is essential for all of us, but is also going through some changes and challenges. Talk a bit more about how you look at this and how you look at the future of higher education.
Higher ed, as we all know, has had some strong pressures over the last decade. The demographic cliff of reduction of high school students, the need to get to professional education, and of course all the funding challenges that have been growing. So all roads are leading to high levels of automation everywhere where we can, but at the same time enhancing the student experience and the quality of the education. A very tough task.
We've been talking yesterday in many of the discussion about the usage of AI agents within the companies. And there's a lot of companies that are afraid of losing control. So do do you have a set of regulations or controls, or you limit the usage of AI agents within the...
I won't say we limit, but we certainly think deeply about that regulation. And I think of regulation at many levels, from what I'll call societal norms or ethics and bias to policy and to law, as well as within agent frameworks. How do we regulate the agents? The tools, how do we regulate the tools? The tools that call the other systems, how are they regulated? So you actually have a rather robust, interesting regulation environment. So I don't look at it as an obstacle, I actually look at it as a very interesting challenge for which this new agentic framework is going to give us a lot of tools to address.
You made a comment yesterday that it takes about 9 months to write the regulations. I don't know how long it takes to implement, but once it's done, the technology has changed, huh?
Absolutely, and we're aware of that. In fact, some of the faculty we're working with right now are trying to develop policies on research, and they recognize this is a very dynamic area. But you still have to go through it as an organization. The organization has to come to grips with what AI is. At the same time, as CIO, I can't let that stop progress on making the environment safe and performant.
Let's talk about your kind of setup, installed base. You have a lot of Cisco gear, but looking at all the announcement, how we bring networking security closer together and embrace AI and everything we do, how are you looking at this? Does this help you? Is this what you expect from Cisco?
Oh, this is exactly what I expect, and not to be sort of unkind to Cisco, but I summarized the product strategy in one sentence: Skynet. Not quite, because human in the loop, and that's important. But we absolutely need this level of automation and autonomy, a sort of self-healing, curing environment, always with a human in the loop. And we need to do it now in order to address, one, the demands on us, but also the funding challenges ahead.
Let me double down on this one, because as I told you, I really love the quote. Tell me a bit more, what is behind this idea and how you're trying to get to the point that you just been able to react before something happens?
Absolutely. We all know once you're in reactive mode, it's taking 5-10x more time than if you're predicting. If you have the blast radius and you nip it, but even before it becomes a blast radius, you save oodles amount of time. Just the Canvas product that you come out with is really interesting because it's going to allow very rapid discovery observability, but it's also setting the seed now for great proactivity, and in fact, perhaps adding humans as agents and a digital twin of that human within that agentic framework, so the knowledge and the experts that we have can get into the AI, relieve them of some of the burden of constantly replaying their oral history and knowledge back to us. So we see this as kind of a symbiotic system that in time will really improve its efficiency. So we'll be able to get real good scale with very little mass.
I hope you can see that DJ and Jeet's team working exactly in this direction. But coming back to the security piece, and I think being such a large university, you're the perfect target. I think everybody is targeting you right now. How do you handle it with still keeping up a kind of open-minded environment, because you have some of the smartest brains in the world coming to the university, so you don't want to limit them. So how do you balance this challenge?
That's a difficult balance, obviously, and the way to do that is through great user experience. All researchers want to be safe. Everybody wants to be safe. What they don't want is have it constantly wagging them in the face, like a tail on a dog. So we work hard with all the Cisco tools we have and other tools in order to make that experience as pleasing and out of the way for the researcher. It also requires a much more defense in depth thinking. When I talk about regulation, it's now at all levels. It's at the device level with the agents on the device. It's at the enforcement level at the network. It's at the inspection level of the packets in the network. It's now into the agentic framework and the AI. So this defense in depth really has to be exploited, because we can't really do simplistic monolithic controls over the whole shooting match, especially with the students.
Now, looking at security in the days of AI, do you saw a radical change on the attack side? Is something changing, and how you predict will it develop over the next 6 to 12 months?
On the attack side, in the last 5 years, we've seen a significant change. We are a big target at UC San Diego by virtue of our research. We got an oceanography institute, and I've discovered when you put sonar in the water, you just detect more than fish in the water. and other countries want to know about that. So we're a big attack vector for other parts of the world. And so this really caused us to have to really up our game in security. And so think of it as a pyramid. You're going to have your petty thieves, and that's the attacks that we kind of saw 5 years ago. But in the last year or so, we've seen very exquisite attacks coming out of foreign actors that are pretty well financed. So what you really have to do is you got to cover all that petty thief stuff and get that out of the way. You got to get your two-factor, and you got to get your zero trust frameworks going. You got to get this autonomy going within the system, so that now you can focus on the really exquisite attacks, which tend to be long-term. So there's something in your environment that was astray, and that's really been done maybe a year or two ago, and now it's coming back to bite you. So that's where we're going to have to focus our effort.
Now, coming back to your journey with Cisco and how you utilize Cisco, or maybe you can share what makes Cisco special for you, or what do you like in this partnership?
Yeah, it's become apparent, certainly to me and others, that this notion of end-to-end, top-to-bottom observability and integration, and now AI as an integrating force, is really critical. And then the time and the latency in that becomes very critical. So the engineering that companies like Cisco are doing is fantastic. So we'd like to see more of that in order to make all of this work. The other piece is support becomes a big deal. We were an early adopter to the ICE framework for wireless, and we really tested the bejesus out of it for Cisco several years ago, and they were behind our back every way, even when we had hiccups along the way. So that support element really does loom large for many organizations, and certainly for us.
Talking about AI, and I think you saw the AI canvas. Even, I got it right, it's not going fast and far enough for you, but you told us this is exactly what you're looking for. Even you want to have it more or less fully automated.
Yes, and I think the Canvas framework is great. My suggestions have been, we have all this knowledge in human beings around the network policy, et cetera, that we have to get out of the minds in sort of a drip irrigation fashion, and we need to bring it into the AI, and we need the AI to improve its performance over time based on this human technical symbiosis which has to occur. And that's going to let you sort of ramp up and get the AI to learn without having to resort to all of, low-rank training or new model training, et cetera. There is enough data and content that is prioritized in all of this that can bootstrap you up into higher levels of performance. And so I think that's where Cisco is absolutely going. I think this digital twin concept, not just digital twins within the switches, but human digital twin, get my engineers, get a digital twin of them, call the engineer when there's an incident, engineer confesses knowledge, that gets put into the AI, and that person doesn't have to be tortured yet again for another incident. I think that whole process can start in this coming future.
That's a good one. I'm not sure if G2 and the teams are working already on a human digital twin to do the daily job.
Yeah,
but maybe next Cisco Live.
Have a skill in there that says, hey, Bob and Mary are our experts in this area, and it actually routes to them. They confess in verbal form. It's scraped, converted to text, augmented, thrown into the hopper, and now they don't get called the next time.
Perfect. There was one topic that was also discussed more often over the last day. This is the question, do we focus 100% on cloud, or is there a new world, especially with AI, some data privacy issues, where you should shift a bit more to a hybrid or on-prem version? I know you have special requirement, special logic, but maybe it's interesting for the rest to share.
Yes, I have long been a proponent of cloud, but what's happening with AI and the cost structures and the demand, and more importantly, what I'll call full stack sovereignty, right from network, data center, data, AI, wireless, and satellite. You're seeing this full stack sovereignty, which now opens up a really interesting distributed computing environment between prem and cloud. You throw agents on there and agent-to-agent communication through those standards, I think we're entering a new era of massively decentralized AI computing from the phone, the laptop, the workstation, the switch, the routers, every part of the network. So that means we are definitely in a hybrid world, for which infrastructure as code has to be the way to push all of this seamlessly in any direction, whether it's cloud or on-premise.
Now, moving on and talking a bit about budgets, because budgets and how you pay for all the needed investments is a big challenge. And based, at least on my understanding, I haven't seen any announcement of additional funding for the higher education. So how do you balance this challenge that you need to drive short-term investments, especially to drive automation, with the challenge that there might be no extra dollars?
Absolutely right. So as a CIO and thinking on the investment lens of this, one way we think about investment is we're going to do something, it's going to stretch out 3-5 years, we pile in the investment, and we get our payback in that time frame. We are shortening that time horizon to less than a year, hopefully months, which also causes incrementality to increase. So this notion of continual deployment arises, smaller projects. What's nice about AI in our analysis of all our AI work, not just on the network, but in the application layer, use cases are Pareto distributed, meaning there's a few use cases that drive enormous business value. There's a lot of use cases that have little value. Harvesting that value, I'll give you a metaphor. On my property, I've got a grapefruit tree and an olive tree. I can go to my grapefruit tree with a basket in 10 minutes, pick grapefruits, fill it up, can bring it back home, cut them up, and in another 10 minutes, I am drinking grapefruit juice. When I pick my olives, I'm out there for 6 hours, I barely fill half the basket. I gotta bring it back, clean the olives, I gotta wash them, I gotta brine them for a week, gotta rebrine them for a month, repeat that process another 3 months, pack them, and then 4 months later I can have an olive. It's not quite that long with AI, but the moral of the story is getting value out of AI is more like picking olives and grapefruits. There is a long tail here, and there's a lot in that long tail, but a lot of it is mundane and simple, and that's where we're starting. And that lends itself nicely to shorter time horizons, quicker paybacks, quicker wins. Still want to tackle the fat tail of the AI use cases, but boy, this is beautiful for the long tail.
Perfect. Maybe as we're running over time, last question. Any advice based on your experience on how to adapt and how to move fast in these times?
First, don't listen too much to what you read on either side of the equation. Use your own judgment in your own mind. Agentic is here, there's no question. AI is here, there's no question. So start the work, begin the experimentation, start with the mundane. There's so much in the mundane, and you can consider incidents the mundane. My security team don't like me saying that, but I view it as a CIO as the mundane. Let's automate the heck out of that. Let's get on to more profound things from here.
Perfect. So the summary starts today. It's here.
Yes.
Big applause, Dr. Vince Kellen.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot. That was amazing. It's great to see that the higher education is that far ahead on this one, because that's what we need all over the world. So my next guest is a long-term Cisco customer. I think he's the longest-serving member of Cisco's Global Customer Advisory Board, and mainly because he's very clear, very outspoken. Together with him and the amazing company behind this, we drove many different transformations over the last years. And he's a special Cisco partner. The company is special for me because from this company I bought my first car, and my actual car is also from this company, and it's a Ford Mustang. Now, please welcome with me on stage the Chief Information Security Officer of Ford, Patrick Milligan. That should feel a bit like home for you, no? Because you've spent a lot of time on Cisco stages, on Cisco advisory boards in the past.
That's true, yes. I've never gotten comfortable with this, but yeah, that's true.
Good. So I think we don't need to explain to anybody who is Ford. I think that's an easy one, but maybe we start with you. Tell us a bit about your journey. How did you finally become a CISO?
Yeah, first a little bit about the role of the CISO at Ford. It encapsulates all of what you would consider the normal parts of enterprise cybersecurity across identify, protect, detect, respond, recover. But we also have our cyber defense capability and our security operations centers, which we run ourselves. Under our remit is vehicle and product cybersecurity, so what goes into our vehicles as well as all of our products and APIs. Our manufacturing cybersecurity, our OT environments, our industrial controls, things we consider critical infrastructure, as well as third-party risk management and working with our supply base to ensure supply chain security, et cetera. I would like to say I know a lot of the Ford teams out there in a lot of those spaces, not only in cybersecurity, but across all of the services we deliver and work with. I want to thank you guys for everything you do. The journey to the CISO role for me personally, it absolutely wasn't a destination. This was not a role I thought I was going to wind up in. I'm in my fourth decade with the company, which I still can't really wrap my head around. I started out as an engineer in one of our production facilities, so I've been in the production environment, manufacturing, engineering, product development, and IT. But I would say the last 25 years has been very focused in roles around cybersecurity, our vehicle software and electronics, working with connectivity both inside our vehicle, security inside the vehicle, connectivity outside of it. And then a lot of roles in infrastructure technology, dealing with engineering and operations of our network, compute, storage, facilities, security. So just a lot of opportunity and experience around technology and security, and that led to the being asked to step back into the CISO role in 2020 for various reasons. It's my second go around doing it. So really been in the role 6 years in the present instance, but 10 years overall. Great role. Even greater company, just a privilege to work there.
The role of the CISO, there's a lot of discussions. Should this leader report rather to the CFO, or should he or she report to the CIO? What is your view and your take on this one?
So there is no, across industry, and we talk about this all the time, there is no silver bullet of where the CISO should report. If there was a single answer, we'd all be organized the same way. We would have already figured this out. But you can find CISOs reporting anywhere in the organization. Within Ford, it is always reported to the CIO or within the CIO's organization. At present, I report directly to our CIO, who is probably more knowledgeable and better at cybersecurity than I am, which makes for just a great working environment. It's very empowering. A lot of accountability comes with it, but it really is phenomenal to have Mike Amends, our CIO, to have his influence with the rest of the executive leadership team and help us to deliver cybersecurity to enable the business, not just for security itself. But it's, I personally would find it hard to imagine what it would be like in this role of a CISO without having just being totally integrated with the entire IT organization because of what it takes to deliver these services and solutions.
I remember, I don't know if it's 2 years ago at GCAP, where you were kind of telling us, bring networking and security closer together.
Absolutely.
Create secure networking. I hope you can see we delivered on this one, G2 and the team.
Sure.
But tell us a bit more about your long-term partnership with Cisco and what makes it a special relation.
Yeah, hopefully I can do justice to this. The Ford-Cisco relationship started from day one. I don't know if a lot of people know that. We bought some of the very first routers from Cisco. So really, a 40-year relationship with the company. I started getting deeply involved with Cisco in 2009 when I moved into the infrastructure technology space. First thing that I found myself involved in was just an infrastructure refresh, not necessarily something big and sexy, but it was my first exposure to the innovation and assistance that Cisco can bring to companies such as Ford, not only on the technology side, but on the business side, just what we had to go through in order to prepare to refresh all these assets across our whole global footprint, whether that be the partnership we established with Cisco Capital and leasing these assets, the engineering expertise Cisco brought to the table to help us figure out how to go refresh our whole global footprint to refresh our infrastructure. So that established a level of trust with me, with Cisco and what you guys brought from a day one and day two perspective. Immediately behind that, we did a data center consolidation. We had 6 global data centers, consolidated them down to 2 in North America. As part of that, we worked with Cisco on basically we run a private network inside Ford, so we re-architected, re-engineered, redesigned our entire wide area network, including our regional network hubs to establish connectivity back to these global data centers. Introduced WAN acceleration at the time and basically just dealt with transport optimization across the whole company. Our WebEx journey with you guys, whether that be audio, video, or data conferencing. And then building out our next generation workspaces with Cisco conferencing technology was behind that. We wound up building 2 enterprise-class data centers from the ground up. These are world-class facilities, and in the consolidation, we worked with Cisco to build out our whole global network, and building these 2 new data centers allowed us to design and engineer a network within the data centers themselves, to deliver a world-class compute environment inside of those, working with you guys. Expanding into the vehicle space, not only vehicle connectivity, but introducing WebEx in our vehicles.
I saw this.
Yeah, Jim Farley, our CEO, was on stage with you guys here at Cisco Live a few years ago talking about that. And now this AI opportunity. I mean, who knows where this is going to go?
Before we jump to the AI one, you heard all the announcements and saw where we're moving. Just check: is this serving your needs? Is this meeting what you expected from us? Is it helping you to manage your complexity?
Yeah, absolutely. Going back, you referenced the comment from a few years ago around networking and security. All of this just it comes together to whatever version of AI you're dealing with, the scope of where this stuff interacts within our company across the whole network, tying network and security together is just fundamental to the success of us being able to not only enable the business with the capabilities they need, but from a cybersecurity perspective, enable these capabilities in a safe and secure way for the company. You guys are absolutely heading in the right direction.
Perfect, great to hear. Now talking about AI, AI for a company of this size, I assume it's a challenge and a huge opportunity. So how are you in general approaching the usage of AI?
Yeah, so a lot of things go into AI. As an automotive industry, obviously Ford has identified our own high-value use cases that we're investing heavily in and going after those. Other OEMs are doing the same thing, I'm sure. So it's not, our technology partners, providers, suppliers are also going to be building out these capabilities, and Ford's going to want to take advantage of them. Other companies want to take advantage of them. So it's the opportunity or challenge within AI from a personal perspective. It's not just figuring out how to enable and secure the agents we're going to build ourselves, but also the ones that we're going to be leveraging from our industry partners, suppliers, and providers. A highly challenging environment when you deal with that. I will say from a Ford Motor Company perspective, when we start dealing with those challenges, the principles and ethics associated with responsible for use of AI are very important to us. Protecting our customers' data, ensuring we're engineering in privacy by design, and effectively everything we do is very important to us. Establishing trust with our customer base and delivering, mobile solutions and capabilities to them that enrich their lives is very important to us. So, data security, data privacy, data protection, very, very top of mind, especially when you're dealing with, LLMs and the immense data that's in those environments. Right behind that for me is robust identity and access management solutions. Not that we don't have the technology in place to help us do this today, but the scale we're going to have to deal with is just exploding. I understand the viewpoints of human in the loop of all this stuff, but I'm telling you, the threat actors are out there are not concerned with humans in the loop. They are giving these agentic AIs a goal and turning them loose. So this whole environment of machine IDs, we're already at a ratio of, some people would tell you, 100-to-1 from machine IDs to human IDs. These machine IDs are going to be different going forward. It's not a set, hey, I'm going to give you a specific task, go do this over and over and over again, very easy to control, very easy to secure. These are going to be machine IDs that have human behavior associated with them, whether it be an agentic AI that has a machine ID that's going off and doing, who knows what. We have to have the capabilities in place. We have to get in front of this. Again, not necessarily a technology shortcoming, but we have to get in front of this to be able to manage these IDs, provide the appropriate authentication, authorization to do this in a safe and secure manner.
Getting in front of this, there was a couple of questions that came up in different sessions about how far do you control, and I asked Vince this already, but most CIOs that I talk to say, oh, they don't know what is really happening right now, who's using what type of agent. Being the CISO, I think they will come to you at the end and say, hey, Patrick, why were we not able to stop this or make this not happening? Yeah. So how you balance, again, out the challenge of allowing your teams across all of Ford to utilize and embrace the power, but on the other side, keep safety and security on the standards you defined.
Yeah, I like the way you worded that in terms of balancing it. This is the single biggest challenge I think almost all of us have in dealing with this. We don't want to stop the usage and the value-added proliferation of this capability anywhere. It's what's going to enable Ford Motor Company. It's what's going to enable your companies. This is where this is going. It is here. It's how do we enable it? Because you're right. Everybody's going to come to us saying, "What are we doing to ensure we're doing this safely and securely?" And we don't have the answer to this today. I've made a comment to people before that if somebody tells you they have this figured out, they're lying. We don't have the answer to this, and it's something we all have to work together to figure out how to do this in a manner that kind of like all your guys' announcements you're coming out with, going down the path of how you securely operate and enable AI and all the technologies that come behind it. Is just this is a cross-industry problem that we all have to work together to solve.
But I can tell you, we have something cool coming up there that should help you on this one. Before we run completely over, just maybe as kind of my last question, share a bit your experience with Cisco and also maybe any recommendation and outlook into the future you want to give to all the amazing IT leaders in the room.
Yeah, in terms of the relationship with Cisco, I'm gonna tell a story. And I hope I don't embarrass anybody out in the audience. I mentioned we did this whole data center consolidation. Just a major change to our global network. So you can imagine a multi-year event, hundreds, if not thousands, of deliverables specifically in the network space. We had everything's important in a program, a project like that, but there are those certain events that come up that are just defining moments for how your program or project go. So we had one very significant weekend network change that had to happen that was going to affect our whole global network. So this is one of those things that can go upside down very quickly and get you in a lot of trouble. And this was something that literally had to come off at this particular point in time. We had plan Bs and backup plans and all that kind of stuff, but that would have been a nightmare for the company in terms of what we had to do to deliver this network redesign. So this is something that had to happen. So the Ford and Cisco network team working on this together on the given weekend, all squirreled away in one of our data centers. And as luck would have it, there was just a major storm in the area. They all knew it was coming. And so in the midst of this event that just absolutely has to go off, the tornado sirens went off. Tornadoes on the ground. So I ask you, what would you do in that situation? I'm not going to name the names because some of them might be out there, and I'm not a proponent of what they did, but this team started pulling together just hundreds and hundreds of feet of power cabling, network cabling, picked up all their gear, got all the kit, and basically reestablished their command center in the interior men's room of our data center in the midst of a tornado and delivered this network change. I don't forget stuff like that. So when you ask yourself, who do you want working with you? Who do you trust? That's what excites me about this relationship and what we can do together. You know, who knows where things like AI are going to go, but what we do together is what gives us the opportunity to do great things. Advice to Cisco, man, keep doing the things you all do at a level that, you know, people can't ignore you. Deliver network security capabilities that enable all our jobs that nobody else can do.
Perfect. There's nothing to add. Big applause. Patrick Milligan. Wonderful. Thanks a lot. So, Carrie, I think we need to check our story because, first of all, digital resilience includes tornadoes, and future-proofed workplaces need to include men's restrooms. Thanks again to our two great customers. I hope you felt well represented on stage, seeing how we are focusing on you. Before I hand it over to Chuck to wrap it up, let me just be very clear. What is my mission as Cisco's Chief Sales Officer? My job is to ensure that you get the most out of our solutions and services. That's my #1 priority. And together with the 90,000 people of Cisco and all our amazing partners out in the field, I'm committed to help you to ensure that it's easy to work with Cisco and that you get the value you expect from us. This is for today and for tomorrow. It's a great honor to serve you as a customer and to help you to deliver on your mission. Big thanks for being here with us at Cisco Live. Big thanks for your trust, and big thanks for being a Cisco customer. Thanks a lot. With this, it's a great pleasure to welcome back on stage our Chair and Chief Executive Officer. Please welcome on stage Chuck Robbins.
Good job, man. I want to thank Vince and Patrick. Thank you for that. That was really, really, really good. Give them a big thank you. Have you guys had a good first couple of days? It's good? You know, we started off yesterday with just a plethora of innovation from the team. Continued with more innovation from the CX team today with Harrison Ford. Thank you for coming. We have to figure out how the anti-aging thing is working. But thank you for your partnership and thanks for being here. The customer discussions were fantastic. And I just have one question for you. Did we meet your expectations relative to the amount of innovation that we delivered this week? Yeah? So I don't have a lot to say other than, obviously, we still have another day of the event. I primarily wanted to just say thank you and reiterate what Oliver said. I want to thank you for your partnership with us. Thank you for being a partner. Thank you for being a customer. And then thank you for your time, because we all know that that is the most precious thing that we have. And for you to choose to spend as much time with us as you have doesn't go unnoticed and certainly is not underappreciated. We greatly appreciate you being here with us. We look forward to actually helping all of you take advantage, hopefully, of a lot of the innovation that the teams have announced over the last couple of days. DJ and Anand, I think there was some slight interest in AI Canvas. I heard that a couple of times. And so we look forward to spending the next year helping you achieve what you're trying to achieve and do the things that you're trying to do as you continue down your AI journey. So thanks for being with us. Enjoy the next day. Enjoy the concert tonight. And we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone. Oh my gosh. Do you feel like me and just felt all of that great content and all the innovation? I mean, just starting with Liz, Santoni, and all of the great things that we're doing for the customer experience. It's real, like it's coming. It's not something that's in the future, way out there. We are leveraging AI for real world impacts. I know how it feels being opening up a case and wondering like, hey, is there something else I should know about? Imagine, I know customers, how you feel when you have these devices in your network, but you don't know if there's something maybe you should be upgrading. Is there some issue going on? Can you be proactive in your defense? Yes, you can with Cisco. I love that. I was just like smiling the whole time. I also loved hearing from our customers. There's nothing like a real story. What we're doing at the University of California, San Diego with our solutions, what we're doing with Ford, powering the automotive industry, one car at a time, really. I thought it was incredible. I especially loved how we were infusing security directly into the plant. Like that part, because my security background, I was just like, yes, security. And like G2 said, at a point, right, we know that security is accelerating what we do. It should not be a hindrance. So all of this is just great news. Super great news. And Rob, I know you're out there too. What were your highlights, or how are you feeling right now? Like, cause I'm up here. Where you at?
Well, I've been out there, and I'm right behind you. We were on the keynote floor together because I'd kind of forgotten that until I'm like, wait a second, I feel like Lauren's presence is nearby, and sure enough, there you were. To me, the thing is, especially, so you mentioned Liz Santoni, and I like where we're now making real from a CX experience the integration of AI, not just in terms of natural language interaction and such like this, but really saying this notion of agentic AI and how can we use this to take some of these, what's the right word, just long-term challenges we've always had where customers have so much distribution, so many assets, both hardware, software, and sometimes somewhere in between, some things from the cloud. How do we get a complete view of not only where those are at any given moment in time, but what release are they at? What's the situation with patching? How fast can we do that? We're announcing abilities to we'll talk about this a little bit further, micro-segmentation on the fly to kind of buy yourself more time as we shrink that window of exposure from a security perspective. But I like what we're doing in CX because I think we're simplifying, making it much easier for customers to keep on top of just what is a lot of very important, highly distributed gear. Yeah.
Yes. And we have some really cool things coming up next too, right? Like I've already seen on the agenda, which you all are probably doing as well, some quantum innovation, how we're securing networks with that. I know that's going to be on my agenda to make sure I go look at. We got some things we're doing with our hybrid mesh firewalls, a lot of cool content. So stay with us. Don't go away. We will be here right after this.
Hey, Elizabeth. Still there?
Okay, change everything.
No problem. Where are we going now?
The perfect getaway for my sister and I. Skiing, wine tasting, spa.
Sure. Sounds like a great time. I'll get right on that. I found a number of vacation packages available in your time frame. What day would you like to...
Wait, I've got it. Miami. That's the destination.
Of course. I found several flights that fit your preference. Window, 8th row, left aisle.
You're amazing.
Thank you. I try to be my...
Actually, what about Greece?
Introducing WebEx AI Agent.
What's my account balance?
Is this covered by my employee benefits?
I'd like to exchange this for a different size, in color, and style.
Where hold times end and self-service begins.
Meet AI Receptionist for WebEx Calling. Your always-on virtual receptionist that can answer questions, book appointments, and transfer calls so your business can boost customer satisfaction without adding staff.
Thanks for calling Florissa Dental. I'm your AI receptionist. How can I help you today?
Hi, yes, I have a toothache and I'd like to schedule an appointment.
But first, I want to make sure that you accept U.S. insurance.
Yes, we do. U.S. insurance is covered 100%. Would you like to speak to an insurance specialist, or are you ready to schedule an appointment?
I'd like to go ahead and schedule an appointment. Thank you.
Great. I'll transfer you to a nurse who will give you an initial consultation and help to schedule your appointment.
Thank you.
Deliver outstanding customer service. AI Receptionist, available later this year as an add-on to WebEx Calling. The best customer experience is the one your customers never have to think about.
Hi, Sam. Sorry about your train cancellation. Let's get you booked on the next available train.
Because you communicate proactively, anticipating their needs before they become needs. Because you deliver 24/7, always-on service with AI agents that offer personalized experiences. Because you can scale with agentic AI that completes tasks and resolves customer issues in the languages and channels customers prefer. Because you empower customer-facing teams with AI tools so they can stay engaged while providing higher touch support. Because you harness AI to turn insights into action and enhance every part of the customer journey. Experiences so effortless and engaging, your customers keep coming back. That's the power of WebEx and AI-first customer experience.
So 4 years ago, we wanted to change two things. We wanted to change the way we worked, and we wanted to change the sport of golf forever. And the solution to both was WebEx.
My name is Cameron Pollard, and I play golf. When I first started competing, playing in front of people wasn't my thing. Being autistic, it was hard at the start. Then came the WebEx Players Series.
The idea was one tournament, one course, one title, one prize purse, men, women and all abilities together. Golf is a game that's hardly changed in hundreds of years, and it took some doing. WebEx was showing things that we didn't know we could do in our sport, and it enabled us to connect our athletes all over the world to get our athletes ready for the global game, and it's working for them. We've seen athletes such as Grace Kim start in the WebEx Players Series to go on and win on the LPGA.
Do want to show them that you're actually good and you belong there. I'm not just a bloke with autism. It's just because we're good enough to be there. It's a pretty awesome feeling.
Since the inception of the WebEx Players Series, female participation has grown 25%. Participation in general over the last year has grown from 3.4 million to 3.8 million golfers in Australia. That is phenomenal. As for the team, WebEx changed the way we worked, and WebEx's AI has been amazing. People Focus is a great feature for us. It allows for everyone in the meeting to feel included and be seen and heard on the one screen. Real-time translation is very valuable for us at the PGA. We talk with global tours on a regular basis. Things used to take twice as long with our team out in the field. We began this journey thinking two things. We would change the way we work, and we would change the sport of golf. What we never imagined is that we'd actually be changing people's lives.
Cisco and SAP have agreed on an ambitious milestone for the migration of our more than 250 offices globally. Right now, we are planning on having upwards of 350,000 devices on the network, including IoT devices. We have more than 100,000 employees. They need best-in-class IT infrastructure to work wherever, whenever, and however they choose, with the devices they prefer. With Cisco, we've made our network simpler and more secure. Cisco SDA also enabled us to improve our Zero Trust access policy, ensuring only trusted devices can access corporate resources. With the Cisco Spaces, we could leverage this foundation and establish a global platform for smart offices. A first experience confirms our hopes and expectation that we can manage everything in one place together with a professional partner like Cisco.
Tribeca has always been curious about technology. I feel that so much of WebEx and Cisco specifically have done for us is help us lower the barrier of entry so that all artists can participate and be involved in the festival.
We're using WebEx events in order to make the experience of DeNiroCon much more interesting, immersive, and connected for our audience. A frictionless experience was key. We don't want our fans and customers worrying about how to find things or where to find things. All we want them to worry about is how do they have the best possible experience. We want to continue to tap into the broader suite of capabilities that WebEx has, including a lot of the AI capabilities that they continue to build out.
It's important to work with companies that have shared values because it's a partnership. It helps us amplify our voice, and to a certain extent, it's a shared mission of Cisco to be able to amplify diverse storytelling. You need to have global partners if you're a global festival, so we're truly honored and proud to be partnered with Cisco.
WebEx Calling Customer Assist enables your local and regional employees to deliver seamless customer assistance with AI-powered features in the collaboration app they already use. Click to Call allows your customers to get in touch with one click. No login required. Once they've reached out, any team member can answer and help. With AI Assistant, they'll have efficient tools at their fingertips, like real-time call summaries that can be shared when transferring a call. And with the Call Sentiment for Supervisors feature, supervisors can assist team members whenever they need support. Enable your local and regional employees to deliver seamless customer assistance, empowered with AI, in the collaboration app they already use. WebEx Calling Customer Assist.
Thank you for calling. You're caller number 25. Your estimated wait time is 37 minutes.
Hi, I'm Blossom, an AI agent.
Hey, how are you?
For your rush delivery, I can help you find the flower you were looking for. We have...
Yeah, it's my grandma's birthday and I need her favorite flower, but I have no idea what it's called. It's bright yellow with like bell-shaped center, very thin stem.
Sounds like a special occasion. Okay, based on your description and our stock, I would recommend daffodils.
Oh, and I want a dozen, please.
Understood. A dozen, coming right up. Okay, I think we have what you're asking for. I've sent it directly to your phone.
Yes, the daffodils are perfect. Can I order a bottle of champagne as well?
That sounds delightful. Unfortunately, we don't offer alcohol purchases online, only in store. However, we do have artisan vases. Would you like to add one to your order?
That sounds good.
You got it. If you're ready to complete your purchase, I can text you the payment link.
Yes, please.
Let's get that payment arranged. I've sent a text message with the confirmation. Have a great day.
We are back, everyone, with two exciting guests with none other than my lovely co-host, Rob. And I'm going to actually let you go see this excitement that we have in store for you. Passing over to you, Rob.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lauren. Yes, I'm excited. So I've got someone who's actually become a friend, Giles Adams, CEO of VQ Communications.
Yeah, good to see you.
And Helen Briggs with collaboration for European, EMEA. See how the brain just stops down when it comes to
Europe,
titles?
Middle East, and Africa.
There you go. She knows where she's from and what she represents. That's perfect. Well, so just before we get into the questions, I wonder, first, could you explain what you're responsible for, Helen, and then we'll come to you, and I'm just kind of, give us kind of the quick on who VQ is and how long you've been part of Cisco, because you guys are a very close part. But let's see what you have to say about that, Helen. Tell us what you do.
Yeah, thank you. So I actually run the EMEA business for our collaboration architecture. Collaboration, as you've heard by the keynotes, is really key in across both customer experience and employee experience. So we're responsible for delivering that into all of our customers and working really closely with our partners as well.
Absolutely. Very good. Giles, I'm curious, so VQ is a video conferencing provider. Yes?
Not quite. We've been developing software to enable people to build services for coming up 20 years. And I'm in a very fortunate position currently being the CEO. We've got a great talent pool of engineers that are all based in the UK. And my job is to provide some guidance and get out the way and let them do their clever things.
Well, specifically, though, you guys are building your solutions. You're using Cisco gear 100% across the board, but you're doing it in such a way that is not something Cisco does as much of historically, and so you've become a very crucial part of the relationship for many customers who have mission-critical networks. Can you explain, if I'm setting you up correctly, can you explain what I mean by that?
So the marketplace that we address has been always around people delivering mission-critical services, and that typically requires really stringent, high-quality software for people to build a conferencing service which may be in a government agency where people are looking to secure their nation's secrets, but increasingly we're seeing that across enterprise customers as well. So in the relationship with Cisco, which has been direct now for 4 or 5 years, we've done 500 or so projects together during that time, we jointly interact with key Cisco infrastructure and add something to that environment.
Okay. And so this would be everything, and this is key communications infrastructure specifically. And so I'm curious from the market perspective, Helen, what you're seeing, especially in EMEA or anywhere you're comfortable speaking to. But obviously Cisco has been moving to cloud. Everything goes to cloud, and for good reason. Not just because some things become easier, but it becomes a better way to do scale as we get better and better at this. And so obviously we don't see that stopping, but we do have many customers that are concerned. They've always been concerned about where's my data located, and that continues to bubble to the surface. But I think it's given new energy to doing more stuff on premises, and we're not always engineered for that. But I'm curious, where do you see the market going on cloud versus prem versus hybrid situations?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
So Cisco is cloud first. It's not cloud only, and that is to really cater to all of our customers globally. So whether you're in a certain segmentation that's very highly, fundamentally flawed by regulations or mandates, or whether you are able to actually have some applications that can actually be offshored, so outsourced and cloud, or whether you actually have them inside. We actually cater for all. Now, just to actually be really clear, an on-prem scenario is really about where that infrastructure lives. So it's where it lives and also where it's maintained. And there's some real positives with that. So it sits in a customer's data center, and the customer themselves, they maintain, they secure, they manage, and they actually deliver software updates, which means that they're in control. But it also means it's quite heavy on resource and IT. Now, you flip that over, and from a cloud perspective, then Cisco takes all of that complexity away via our WebEx offering with video conferencing. And with that, it basically means that we can actually offer at scale agile innovations such as AI, such as collaboration tools. But as Giles did mention, we have to also interact with the customer's scenario and the customer's environment. So they may have certain back-end applications or tools that we have to interact with from a cloud offering, and that's where VQ comes in, of really understanding that customer's infrastructure and being able to be flexible. Some applications will be cloud, some applications might be on-prem, and it makes it a very complex nature for an in-house IT department. So that's why Cisco works with VQ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the VQ certainly works with cloud just fine, but you've developed tools, continue to develop, because one of the challenges when you start trying to remain distinct or have ability to draw the line on where the cloud begins and ends in your operation, wherever the customer wants it, you also potentially, maybe lose some of the good things about cloud and some of the services it delivers. But you guys have consistently rolled out technologies, as I understand it, to bridge that gap so that customers can have the best of both worlds. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think trying to narrow the gap, because as Helen rightly points out, there is massively more compute available in a cloud environment than there is in an on-premise environment, which may be air-gapped and totally locked down. But what we've always been trying to do is to make sure that there isn't a massive differences in the services that people can experience. So what we don't want is somebody perhaps who works in a government agency going into a secure environment, having a conferencing experience, and then perhaps going home and then using another experience and going, well, they are completely different.
Yeah.
You don't have two different types of phone experience, you have a phone experience.
Right.
But so being able to add back functionality that people just expect to use the term table stakes is what we've been trying to do and continue to do. And of course, one of those things is, in a very simplistic view, is adding back things like some of the AI capabilities, like meeting transcription, translation, all those types of things. And that's something that we're working on quite heavily at the moment.
Which is funny, because we think, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. But for you, in the actual implementation of that, your engineers are figuring out, well, that means localized models.
Absolutely.
And so there's a shift and an expectation and probably a lot of pre-work that goes into that. Because I think many customers may make the mistake of thinking, if I want to take more of this under my control, why can't I just do it myself? You're like, well, you're welcome to try. Here's my number. When you're ready to get serious.
It's actually quite complicated delivering services in an air-gapped environment. All of those reliances that people are familiar with in a typical IT and deployment, where you access, for example, licensing permissions through a cloud-based service, just don't exist in an air-gapped environment. So there's quite a lot of complexity, and that's why it's quite a niche environment in terms of the special engineers that work in this space.
Yeah.
And it's why we've got this great relationship with Cisco, because we've been partnered together for a long time. Some of the customers, which obviously neither of us can share in an open environment, are obviously fairly paranoid about the services.
I want to ask the paranoid questions, but I get it. Yeah.
But it's really important. So we leverage the best infrastructure, and Cisco and VQ dominate this space. There is nobody else in this marketplace. There are other vendors that will talk the talk, but when it comes to getting into this type of environment, delivering high volume services for customers, right the way up to, if you could call it the sort of pyramid of paranoia, if you go further and further up a particular environment, it has to be resilient, it has to just work all the time and every time.
Well, I know you guys have taught us a lot about how this can work over the years, because this is not a new relationship. I wonder, we'll start with you, but I want you to piggyback off this from your perspective. But when did the Cisco relationship start, and are there some key moments in terms of how, because I feel like a lot of the Cisco engineers, from my experience, look at VQ engineers as just another department almost, because you're working towards the same goals, definitely separate companies, but we've been working tightly together for a while.
Yeah, so we've had a direct commercial relationship with Cisco for 4.5 years. There's a program called Solutions Plus. And this is where Cisco's recognized, and it's not just VQ, that there are gaps in the Cisco portfolio which is not relevant for them to invest in, because either it's too small or it's too niche in terms of the special skills that are required. So Cisco has this program called Solutions Plus. As I say, we've done some 500 plus projects together, and the pipeline is growing, not just in America, it's a real global program. So it's worked really, really well, but it's really where over time the recognized skill set that we have and the software that we have is solving real world customer problems. And that's the key thing, making sure that we continue to deliver to that.
Yeah, Helen, I think a lot of times these guys are very well engaged with our defense customers, and anybody that's dealing with sensitive data on a regular basis, and they probably know each other on a first name basis. What is your impression of those relationships and how important it is to Cisco?
So dynamic changes are always happening in the market, and where we are today, we're seeing that. And actually with the on-premise that we've been speaking about, that's actually growing in certain markets and certain verticals.
Yeah.
And Giles and I was talking last week, because I went to see a customer in Northern Europe, and it was around the county courts. And some of the stats that they're actually trying to strive through at the moment is that 1 in every 3 court appearances now is on video conferencing. Before the pandemic, it was quite low. The pandemic brought more so, and people now see it way more flexible as part of their daytime. But with that becomes 1 in every 5 sessions need an interpreter as well. So due to the sensitivity of that call, 155,000 events are actually recorded and stored on an annual basis. So it's huge in types of that dynamic. And with them, they have to keep that very, very safe. They have to keep that away from even some of their geo partners in country, whether that's the police forces or other areas that they actually that they have to contact. But then they will have certain parts of those particular interactions that can be shared. So that's when VQ can come in and really start to prioritise what the data sensitivity is and the priorities are, and how we can actually start to move that around to make that ecosystem work. And we were just talking about that last week. So it's integral that this partnership for our customers just keeps growing and growing.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is, and we're going to have to wrap things up, but what I'm hearing is really, you know, Cisco, obviously this week, as we always do, we're talking about data being so important and also differentiating for all of our customers, and they need control of their data, and sometimes it's us giving them the tools to see where their data is and how to interact with it, certainly to be able to move it around at the speed and with the latency that they need, and to communicate with it, but always knowing at any given moment that they're in control of it. And it feels like you guys are working tightly together to be able to do that. Thank you for taking the time. I hope the conference remains good for you.
Thank you.
Your booth has been very busy downstairs, and it's nice to meet you as well, Helen. But guys, with that, I'm going to go back to Lauren.
Hello, that was really insightful. My favorite part was really, it doesn't matter if you're self-hosted in the cloud, you have a video experience that's the same. VQ and Cisco partnering together to give us that. Now, I'm seeing in my peripheral, like Steve was saying earlier, I see my lovely friend Michelle over there with a special guest. Michelle, can you go ahead and introduce us to your guest there?
Lauren and everybody watching, welcome back to the show floor. I have a new friend, Arpita Shetty, who is a product lead of the Secure Unified branch, which is visually right behind us. I want to ask her a couple questions, starting out with, give us your elevator pitch.
First, I want to say thank you, Emma, for talking to me today. I'm really excited to be talking about Unified Branch. So my 60-second, 30-second elevator pitch would be Unified Branch is a platform approach to managing our 3 key networking components, which is routing, switching, and wireless, all under a single management platform, which is the Meraki dashboard. You know the cloud dashboard to be intuitive. So what we want to give to customers is streamlined operations. We want them to be focused on what value they are generating for their organizations instead of worrying about disparate tools and technologies. And that's why we are excited to be announcing Unified Branch.
I love it. I love it. That resonates, and that's a strong message. So what sets this apart from things that we have done in the past?
So I'll tell you what sets it apart. But before that, I may have to tell you a little more about Unified Branch.
Do tell.
Yeah. So Unified Branch has a few core critical components, which is first the platform that we talked about, cloud delivered, intuitive, single pane of glass, and then that connects to our core technology, which is routing, switching, and wireless. What we have added to Unified Branch is a concept of Cisco Validated Design, also known as CVD. So CVDs they're not new. They've been around in Cisco for a while. What they are Cisco's best practices. So imagine 40 years of Cisco's expertise, all documented and provided to customers to tell them what the best practices are to deploy a service. So what we are doing with CVDs is now we are delivering a CVD for the entire Unified Branch versus just for a solution. And then we're not just giving you a document. Like, customers don't just want a solution. They don't just want features. They want validation. Right. They want confidence. And so with our CVDs, because they are thoroughly tested, we are giving customers the peace of mind to deploy our solution. So that is something that's brand new. And then assurance is important, insights are important, because customers are moving more to cloud-delivered applications. So we are leveraging ThousandEyes, which is a really cool technology from Cisco. So we are using ThousandEyes to give customers a visibility into their networks. So that's a part of Unified Branch. And then the main thing is branch as code. So we've given customers a simple, intuitive dashboard, right, to manage their branches. But what if they want more automation? What if they want to leverage DevOps principles like version control, automation, testing? And for those customers, we have introduced Branch as Code. And we're just trying to make things simpler for customers to adopt all our technologies, to adopt all the cool technologies that Cisco develops. So that is Unified Branch.
That was incredible. I just learned a lot from her. Okay, one more question. I'm going to wrap it up.
Sure.
How are customers changing the way they think about branch management?
So, like I was saying, customers want validated designs. Customers want peace of mind. And today, customers are facing problems with IT shortages. There's a talent shortage, and there are disparate tools that they have to manage. So they want something that is simple and intuitive, and that's what we think is changing with customers today. They want more automation. You heard the keynote yesterday. It's all about AI. And I think that's what is changing with customers today. And we are creating technology and products that help customers move to the next digital transformation.
That was incredible. Yeah. I can't stop saying I learned a lot from her. Thank you so much. I'm sending it back to you, Lauren, in the studio.
Thank you, thank you. I learned a lot as well, and we have them coming. We have another interview. I'm passing it back over to Rob to hear more.
You got it. Thank you so much, Lauren. So this is fun. Craig, I met you when you were out hyping Hypershield. Hyping Hypershield. I didn't think about that. Yeah, and still worth hyping, if you will. But the secure mesh firewall is what I wanted to talk to you about and understand kind of, am I saying that right? Hybrid mesh firewall. It should be secure. The secure is assumed when we say firewall. But can you tell me what that means and how unique is that naming in the market? Because it was a little bit more known than I had even realized.
Yeah, so hybrid mesh firewall is a term that Gartner coined to talk about the convergence of management of different types of firewalls. So we have three types of firewalls traditionally that exist in an enterprise. We have traditional box-based firewalls that run on-prem. We have cloud-native firewalls that run inside of hyperscalers. And then we have firewalls as a service that runs as part of our SSE or SASE solution.
Okay.
And so Gartner wanted to push the industry to converge on a single enforcement stack, a single management stack for those three firewalls. Now we've taken it and expanded that definition.
When you and I were talking a little bit earlier, and this is something I wish was sometimes made more clear to everyone, because it's what I struggle with, is when we change the name of things. And there's been some significant name changes in security, but there's a good reason for it. So I wanted to, can you kind of tell us what the translation is from what we used to call to what we call it now, and why?
Yeah, so what we did is we tried to rename products to make them easy to understand. So we used to have a lot of bespoke names, a lot of acronyms. It was like a secret jargon to understand what all the Cisco products did.
That's secret to my power, yeah.
And so, if you look at the elements of our hybrid mesh firewall, two of the key elements are what we call today secure firewall. We used to call FTD or firepower.
Threat defense, yeah.
But you might not know what firepower means.
No.
You might guess that it means firewall because it has fire in it. Yeah. Secure firewall, it's pretty obvious what secure firewall is. Similarly, we had a product called Tetration. You wouldn't know what that does, and right now it's called secure workload. Should be very clear that at least its job is securing your workloads, right? So it's trying to give functional names that make it easy for folks to understand what we do.
Well, and as we're adding new things, it becomes a little bit challenging at first, I feel like, to differentiate between, well, what's new and what's just a name change. But there's new elements to all of these things. In fact, can you talk a little bit about, because we've got increased enforcement points as part of the umbrella technology that you're with this mesh.
Yes.
But what are the elements that are delivering that for us?
So hybrid mesh firewall is a suite of enforcement points. Okay. So the idea is a single policy that can be pushed down to a distributed set of enforcement points. Okay. Those enforcement points can be the secure firewall that I just mentioned, secure workload that I just mentioned, Hypershield, which runs in two form factors, either on the workload with eBPF, where it's powered by our isovalent runtime security technology.
Isovalent, where we got the ePVF?
Correct. Okay. Or inside our smart switch, where it runs as a network enforcer. We've added two new enforcement points at this show. One is Cisco ACI, which folks know, the data center fabric that they know and love. And the other is our new secure routers actually have the ability to take security policies from Security Cloud Control using the same security stack and do enforcement right on the Cisco Secure Router.
So when I think about this distributed nature that we're all kind of struggling with, the speed, of course, the distribution, and AI specifically, because we have AI that we're using to get more things done, but then you as a security person are constantly thinking about, well, wait, who's checked the AI?
Yeah.
But you guys are constantly thinking about both sides of that in all of this implementation, correct?
Yeah, I mean, AI brings a couple of interesting challenges. So I always say, Chuck's talked about fusing security in the fabric of the network. I like to say we need to change security from being a place in the network we send traffic to being part of the network itself. And that's really important when you think about AI, because the speed that AI is operating at, you can't have a firewall box and all my AI traffic is going to go through that firewall box, right? You've seen those stats we have where like a single AI rack has more traffic than the entire LTE network in the United States of America. Well, I'm not going to put a firewall box in there. I need to distribute security everywhere. So by having the same security distributed in all these enforcement points, not only does it allow consistency, but it allows this horizontal scale of those security services so that as I'm rolling out these new inferencing capabilities, learning capabilities, other things with AI, and now agent-to-agent communication, I'm actually embedding the security close to where those things are happening, which allows me to not only have consistency, but also scale.
Well, I think it was in the G2 keynote, he talked about kind of buying us time between, say, when a vulnerability is announced and the time in which a patch is released, because we see threats come out much faster, of course, than the patch.
Right.
But you guys are the infrastructure, when deployed in this manner, has been given the ability to microsegment on the fly? Is that how it's working?
Yeah, so two things. One, I mean, for vulnerabilities in customer workloads, Hypershield is there to do autonomous segmentation on the fly, and also what we call distributed exploit protection, where we can actually use eBPF to prevent a vulnerability from being exploited. This week at the show, we announced Cisco Live Protect, where we're taking the technology that does distributed exploit protection and bringing it to Cisco devices, starting with our Nexus switches, but it's going to extend to all Cisco devices. So not only a vulnerability in the customer workload, but what if Cisco ourselves has a vulnerability? Well, we're going to allow you to, at runtime with no disruption, prevent that vulnerability from being exploited, which means you still have to patch the device, but you can do it at your next scheduled maintenance window. It's not a hair-on-fire emergency the way it is today.
Life in general, it feels like. So I like that. So you're buying some time. But the first thing I thought of, too, sometimes is if you're locking that down, obviously we have to be very intelligent how we lock that down, because we're talking about production resources that are still in play.
Right.
And so it's using them securely, but in some kind of a fashion that is still safe. So I guess it's very exploit relevant.
It is. It's very targeted. So eBPF, what eBPF allows us to do is safely extend the functionality of the kernel at runtime, and do it by extending it an individual, what we call hook point. So that could be a single function call, a single system call, a single K-probe in the kernel, which is a name for a hook point in the kernel. And so we're able to write very targeted rules that are actually executing as part of the kernel. So very fast, very safe. So imagine I'm not saying block this big thing. I'm saying this one function call cannot be called by this one process if it's running in this one network namespace. I'm being very, very fine-grained.
Something really a machine can only write that kind of rule on the fly, I would imagine, at that speed.
Right.
But I love that, because that's exactly what we need to deal with today's realities. Craig Connors, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you taking the time. I know you're busy running around this week explaining these concepts, because security is a huge focus with everything that we're dealing with. But with that, we'll go back to Lauren.
Hello, everyone. And all I heard was simplicity. I heard single pane of enforcement, single enforcement stack, actually. And it's music to my ears, because if you've been in security long enough, you know security used to be an afterthought. But at Cisco, we are bringing it front and center. We're infusing it into everything we do, in the policy engine, everywhere. I'm super excited. Oh my gosh, thank you. That just really got me really, really pumped up. So now, we got a lot of good content coming over to you guys. Interview, and guess what's next? Another interview with Michelle. Michelle, are you out there?
Lauren, you know I'm here, ready with another interview. Thanks for bringing it back here. We're on the show floor. I'm here with Grant Shirk, who is in product marketing. Now, why I'm excited to talk to Grant is that I'm also in product marketing. So we're about to geek out on the coolest job. What I want to talk to Grant about is security architecture. G2 brought this up earlier. What are the 3 pillars you want to highlight for people to see?
Yeah, I mean, if you go back to the conversation we were having yesterday, there's really 3 primary challenges that our customers are facing that they need solutions for at the end of the day. And a lot of it is brought on by the advent of AI and agentic AI. But also there are a ton of two-day challenges that are already impacting networks. And our customers really need 3 things. That's what we're here to talk about. One is delivering that operational simplicity across the network that is powered by AI. as we're dealing with skills challenges and staff shortages and really just the complexity of the network overall, it is critical that we give our customers more and better tools like AI Canvas in order to collaborate, diagnose, and understand what's actually happening on their networks. The second piece, though, is we talked about the need for more powerful, more intelligent infrastructure and hardware that's built for the pending demands that AI is going to bring. Like, I still have that chart that we showed in the keynote yesterday of how traffic patterns are changing, right? We've gone from AI driving this kind of like spiky intermittent traffic to now constant inferencing both at the data center and the edge, and that's shifting the traffic that's flowing across the network, which is the second reason why we really need that different architecture to solve for these problems. And then the last one, which is really both a today and tomorrow problem, is that need for deeper, better, and more effective security, both for the challenges of today. So it's those three things. Operational security, it is hardware and infrastructure built for the AI era so we can be ready. And then it's our ability to protect both the devices and the data that's flowing across that network.
Thank you. That was very powerful. I want to move it over to hardware for AI. Can we talk about the smart switches that were introduced, and are they part of that?
We can absolutely talk about the smart switches, and in many cases, they are the anchor in the infrastructure that's going to drive all of this. When you think about where all of that bandwidth, that connectivity, the need to scale out these tens of thousands of devices and the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of agents, you need a different kind of infrastructure in your switching layer. And so we're standing right now in the middle of the Future-Proof Workplaces Showcase. We call this Mission Control kind of informally because this is how we're showing that unified platform coming together. But just over here, we actually have the new Cisco C9610 series smart switches. These are powered by a new class of Silicon One chips, and they're actually pairing together both that Silicon One CPO and a second coprocessor. And their superpower is their ability to run both the networking flows and the security in parallel without impacting each other. So for any of you out there who are still running you might have a 6800 that's buried in a closet somewhere. I heard somebody talking about a Cisco 6000 chassis that had been drywalled in and there was just one Ethernet cable coming out, still running. Like, now's the time. Now is the time to think about
this is your call to action.
Future-proofing that network, but you're getting 10 slots. You can run 2 supervisors in parallel, and there's some really powerful technology on this that's going to drive that post-quantum cryptography, protecting the data, and honestly, they're just really cool.
They are.
Fully redundant with swappable fans on the backplane. Like, these things are cool. I will tell you, we're kind of off camera, I had to help carry one of these up a flight of stairs. It weighs 600 pounds fully loaded. It took 5 of us to get it up. I'm just really glad we didn't drop it.
How many flights of stairs?
Only one, but that was enough.
That's one too many. Last question. What else are you getting attendees asking about here at Mission Control?
Oh, well, I think there are probably 3 main questions. Certainly one of the most fun things they're doing is enjoying the variety in the fixed access line of these smart switches, which is the C9350, which is just behind you. These are also Silicon One powered, and they're available in 24-port, 48-port varieties. I think there's some capabilities, though, that we gloss over if we're only talking about the security and other things. Each one of these, particularly the 48 ports, they're 90 watts of PoE in every single port. So you've got a full power budget. The power supplies, actually, if any of you have the chance, come over and play with the power supplies. They're titanium rated, they're incredibly sustainable and power efficient. And you can do some amazing things with energy management. As a matter of fact, right before we started this interview, one of the team over here in the center reminded me, every single device in this section, from the Meraki MV cameras to the ThinLabs displays and the lighting, is PoE powered, and it's all driven by the column in the center. So like this idea that, energy networking is actually a real technology, like proof of that is right here in the showcase.
That is such a great thing to end on. Thank you so much, Grant, for your time. Hopefully you're not carrying anything else up the stairs today.
I will see what happens when it's time to take the place down.
That's true, no promises. Lauren, I'm sending it back to you in the studio. Thank you.
Thank you. That was great. now we are preparing for our next session. I know you all are just soaking in all this information, right? I hope you are. If you're not, you better be, because we got more stuff coming. And the next thing we have is all about AI-powered assurance, from the edge all the way to the cloud. And if we think about it, more and more, we're seeing devices that are managed, not managed, owned, not owned, all in our environments. And it becomes even more difficult to really be able to pinpoint where the issue is that's occurring. So being able to find out the root cause, being able to understand what device, what team, if you will, right? What team is responsible for this issue is just getting harder. But at Cisco Splunk, we are building solutions to really help you navigate that, really be able to give you the end-to-end visibility that you need and that assurance. And what's really cool is that we're bringing it as a single platform, using things that you probably already heard of on the Cisco side, using ThousandEyes, some of those solutions. And I'm a little biased, but Splunk to help with the IT operation. So I'm super excited to hear Sanjay and Diego really bring to life what we mean when we say AI-powered end-to-end. Come check out this session now.